California, Fox Sports Net presents the Pac-10 Conference Game of the Week. Great intersectional today as the Nebraska Cornhuskers come calling on the California Golden Bears. And hello again, everybody. Barry Tompkins, great to be back. My old pal Tom Ramsey in Nebraska. Tom, well, they come in here, they say they're concerned. They're really banged up. This is the first road trip under a new coach. All kinds of worries. But you know what? I have an idea the Cal Bears might be a little bit more worried than Nebraska.
Even with all the injuries Nebraska has, their program really resembles a machine. They're just steamrolling people for the last several years, especially in the 90s. Frank Solich did not inherit a program, a machine from Tom Osborne, and he's got a great quarterback at the controls today.
You know, a lot of people are saying that Bobby Newcomb may be the best quarterback ever to play at Nebraska. But we may not see Bobby Newcomb today. He's banged up, may or may not see action. He will not start. That mantle will fall on Eric Crouch. And Eric Crouch, when asked, has gotten the job done.
Eric Crouch, a week ago, his first start versus Alabama Birmingham, and he led the team quite well. He had a couple big touchdown runs. He can throw the ball. He can operate their entire offense. And that offense, the philosophical differences and advantages that Nebraska brings into a game is ball control and rush the football.
I think it's fair to say that if California's going to win, they need big plays. And if Cal's going to make big plays, they have to make them through the air.
Bottom line is execution, whether run or pass. And, of course, Justin Vedder for Cal brings a great passing game with this Cal offense. Doug Cosby is the offensive coordinator in Tom Holmoe's offense. But he put up some great numbers a year ago. He's got to get the ball quite often to Damian Douglas today.
Tom Holmoe, the California coach, says if we're going to win the game, we have to play absolutely perfect. We cannot leave it on the carpet at all.
No, they really can't. Nebraska is just too good. You have to take control. You really have to try and control the ball and keep the ball out of Nebraska's hands, and just hopefully the score doesn't get too high.
Yeah, they may be banged up, but I'll tell you what, even banged up, this is one of the best football teams and, in fact, one of the best football programs in America. California and the fourth-ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers will get it on when we come back to Memorial Stadium right after this commercial word. Took away. Conditions here for a football game, and one of the most beautiful scenes you will see for a college football Saturday. Just about a sellout crowd here. Time now to introduce you to the third member of our broadcast team. Had he have not played a little hoops at Oregon and been a member of the Olympic volleyball team, might have been a wide receiver at Nebraska. Little known fact. Here's Paul Sunderland. Sunday.
Talk about a long shot. Are we talking about Cal's chances today? Maybe not. But first of all, a digression, Barry. Talking about baseball and the great home run chase all spring and summer long between Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. The home run ball has been the story, but has also been the story here of California football in a negative sense. Last year they gave up 46 big plays, or home runs if you will, and for a team that returns a number of starters, this is what absolutely killed them last year. They've got to cut that down today. You see that they resulted in 22 touchdowns. If you're going to upset the Cornhuskers, you better be perfect on your side of the ball as well as taking care of things defensively. I don't think Mark McGwire's in the building, and Cal better hope he's not. Barry, have a good one.
All right, thanks, Paul. Paul Sunderland, what we're referring to, was actually recruited by University of Nebraska to be a punter and a wide receiver. Opted instead for Eugene, Oregon. Kicker for Nebraska. They incidentally won the toss and deferred Chris Brown. He'll be kicking to Deltha O'Neal and Damian Douglas deep for California. So the Bears will try to do some business first. Cornhuskers will rely on their defense. There'll be no return to this. Brown, one of the truly terrific kickers in college football. So California will start at its 20-yard line. And Tom, talking to the California offensive coordinator, Doug Cosby, and Cosby was telling us that he feels he's got to stretch the field. He's got to throw the ball down the field, and he's got to do it often.
He's got to stretch it, but they're not going to change their offense, what I found interesting today.
So Justin Vedder, who, if attitudes win football games, will win every game he plays. Very confident quarterback. I want to welcome those of you who have been watching Miami defeat Cincinnati. We're just underway here at Berkeley. And there's the deep throw right out of the box. And it is knocked away at the last minute on a fine defensive play by Ralph Brown. Pass was intended for Philip Pipersburg, and the Bears had what they wanted, but a good defensive play by Brown. That's the game that we just mentioned. Miami defeating Cincinnati big by 26. We have just had our first offensive snap. As Nebraska won the toss, deferred, they will take the ball in the second half. And Vedder trying to go downfield, had one-on-one coverage, but Ralph Brown with the good man coverage. Second down and 10. Split backs, Fields and White. Play fake and a rollout. Vedder will try to get to the corner first, and you can't do that against Nebraska. Run down by Eric Johnson, undersized but very quick. Let's take a look at how the Bears line up offensively on the O-line. John Welburn, a guy who a lot of people feel will be playing on Sundays next year. He is the anchor of that offensive line. Damian Douglas, a guy who has caught 33 balls for 419 yards in his last 3 games. So he clearly is the go-to guy amongst the receivers of California. Rucker, incidentally, was not supposed to start. Mike Rucker at a defensive end spot for the Cornhuskers, and he is in there. So once again, things changing. And Vedder having to unload in a hurry, throws behind Joel Young. And the Bears 3 and out. Not the kind of start they would have liked.
Not the kind of start you want, but I admire Doug Cosby for coming out of the gate and throwing deep downfield, although the side they happened to choose was Ralph Brown, who's their best defensive player for Nebraska.
So Nick Harris, who had a punt blocked last week against Houston, will punt it away to Joe Walker. Walker can scoot. Low snap. Harris gets it away. Line drive kick, a short kick. Walker lets it bounce, takes a California bounce, and will get inside the 35-yard line to about the 33. And now we'll see what the Bears can do defensively. Eric Crouch, the quarterback. Crouch, just a freshman, redshirt freshman, sat last year, and you saw his numbers. Offensive line, Josh Heskew, one of 5 co-captains on his team, and their most experienced offensive lineman. Sheldon Jackson, the tight end, very much more a part of the Nebraska offense than his predecessors. They throw to Jackson a lot, and the other thing to look for, they throw a lot on first down, and that too is unusual. And to give this time straight ahead to the fullback, or the I-back rather, Correll Buckhalter. And Buckhalter gets about 3. Jacob Wasdorf, undersized nose guard for California, makes the stop. Jerry DeLoach, however, is the guy with star quality. Siku Sanyika with 2 interceptions last week. Said they're the first interceptions he had since he played Pop Warner. And Marquise Smith, arguably the best defender for the Bears. Here's the option. Crouch on the keep, turns a corner, 40-45, first down. Macavika just knocked Marcus Smith into Tuesday.
Yeah, he sure did. The lead block by the fullback, Macavika. Lead option. Nebraska gets on the corner right away. And I tell you, Barry, this offense there's not a lot of secrets to it. They're going to maul you at the point of attack, the line of scrimmage, and the fullback plays a big role in this offense.
This time 2 wideouts and a tight end. They'll give you a lot of different looks. Bears will play run all the way. They give it to Macavika into the open to the 40 of the Bears down to the 36-yard line. Well, the first thing in a triple option is tackle a fullback, and the Bears forgot about that.
Yeah, and you really don't want to forget about Macavika. A walk-on into the program. He follows his brother, of course, playing the same position. And watch him. They just get a nice little hole opened up between the center and guard, and he just takes it right up the middle of the crease of that Cal defense. Good for a first down.
Gain of 17. Macavika again. Again with room inside the 30 to the 29. Big first down yardage, and Nebraska just making it look easy here.
What you'll see Nebraska do, if a play works for them, a lot of times they'll come back and run the same play. They may give you a different formation, but they'll run the same play. If something's working, that offense, Frank Solich has been there, been around the program a long time. This is his 20th year at the helm, and of course Tom Osborne, the head coach, previously used to call all the plays himself.
Here's another set that we haven't seen, and as we said, they'll give you a lot of different looks. 3 wideouts, no tight end. They run the option again, they pitch to Buckhalter. First down and more, 20, 15, 10, 5, and he got out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Thought he was going to say it was in, but he stopped just short of the goal line. But this is textbook stuff.
It really is. If you draw the option up and the fellow who makes a play, Crouch, takes the ball to the last moment. Watch him as he just options the end. He flips it out, and all of a sudden Buckwalter with a head of steam. They don't have contain, and he's pushed out right at the 1.
Sure looked like he got in, actually. The referee said no, and so it'll be first down and goal at the 1-yard line. A sneak. Crouch really took a shot. I don't believe he got in.
Albert Dorsey coming from his middle linebacker position, number 44, just shot the A-gap and really did put a hit on Crouch.
line of scrimmage. It'll be second down.
Barry, one thing you're going to notice, Nebraska today does not waste a lot of time in the huddle. Even though they change personnel, they get people in and out, and the number of plays they run per game is phenomenal.
Truly phenomenal. Power eye this time. Crouch again. Touchdown. And that was a thing of beauty. There was just no contact. The offensive line of the Nebraska Cornhuskers, which is considered as a unit one of their weaker units, just knocked the Bears back into the end zone. Jolt, Sherman, Heskew, Gesford, and Schwab.
And Frank Solich right there, you saw where he was standing on the sideline. He was a fullback in the Nebraska program back in the 70s under Bob Devaney.
Just a seamless transition from Tom Osborne. You got to really like when you get around the Nebraska program. We've been around it a few times here on Fox in the last couple of years, and it is really something special. The system works. They plug the players in. The coaches stick around and have been there. Thing of beauty. Job done in most efficient manner. There's Frank Solich. He is in his third game as the head coach, but he's been around here forever. As we said, seamless transition from Tom Osborne. Very similar personality, actually, than Osborne. Good guy. We enjoyed our meeting with him. Very candid with us and talking about his team. You know, he said nobody asks in Nebraska how we're going to do. They tell me how we're going to do. He was chuckling about that. He said really the only big difference, he came out here on the field yesterday, there were 6 television cameras waiting for him. He said people recognize him now in restaurants, and other than that, that's about the only change in his life. Good guy. This kick is deep to O'Neal, who thinks I'm going to do it, and then says, no, I don't think I will. So Brown again drives the Bears deep into their own end zone. And here's a look at that drive. It took all of 2 minutes and 22 seconds after the Bears went 3 and out. Crouch took it in from a yard out. 7 plays, 67 yards. And I don't think Frank Solich is going to find a lot to criticize in that drive.
No, and that's where they hurt you. They just don't take a lot of time off the clock. And Tommy Homo was saying, you know, looking at game film, preparing for this game, all of a sudden you're looking at game film and you look at the score and it's 21-0, and all of a sudden, 5 minutes have run up the clock.
So the Bears again start at their 20. We're not able to do any business the first time. Douglas in motion into Fields, and Fields get about 2. Bears said they would be very happy getting 3 or 4 yards in the running game. They don't really believe they can crack a big gainer. And they will always run straight ahead and never try to go sideline to sideline. Chad Kelsey, the senior, playing hurt today. He's got a virus, and he's going to try it, and he'll be out there for a while. Brian Shaw is one of the great stories. Here's another guy who was a walk-on. He's a 4-point student. Ralph Brown, the defensive back who made the play, of course, on the first Bears pass to Pipersburg that looked for all the world as though it was going to be successful. Brown just played perfectly. Great cover corner. Flag is down this time. Vedder will run. He's got a little bit of room. And he gets it to about the 28-yard line. Now we'll see about the flag. Eric Johnson made the stop. You're not going to out-quick Nebraska, I can tell you that.
Well, you can't out-quick them, and you can't outrun them.
Penalty's going to go against California. That's a problem, isn't it?
And as you mentioned, Barry, early on, if you want to win this game, execution really
illegal
becomes
formation
key.
On the offense. They only had 6 players on the line of scrimmage. Repeat the down after the 5-yard penalty.
Tom Hummel knows a week ago versus Houston, Cal could only produce 5 yards of rushing offense, and he said, it might have been a lot better had they just had a couple key blocks. And all of a sudden, if one guy misses his block, you get stonewalled. And in this program, especially against Nebraska, they can only rush in passing situations. They can rush 4 or 5 guys, and still they're able to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
Second down 11 now for California. Vedder straight back to pass, steps up, throws underneath. The ball's caught this time by the tight end Kunkel, and Kunkel will be a couple yards short of a first down. Eric Johnson makes the stop. Well, Doug Cosby was telling us he doesn't expect Vedder to have a whole lot of time. They don't even have a 7-step drop in this package today. They'll go 3 and 5. That time they went 3 and he had to unload the ball. And Cosby told us that if he has to go 5, it's 5th step and throw the ball. That's how much time he had. 2 tight ends in a short yardage situation now for the Bears. Give to White, the fullback, and I don't think he's going to get it. If he does, he's going to get a generous mark here, and he might. It's going to be very close from where the linesman seems to be indicating. Bears are saying they haven't. They do. First down, California. Generous.
And it was generous. When you give it to your fullback, you want him to hit it up on in there. And White just a little tentative that time. Not really pushing the ball forward, but they're lucky enough to get the first down.
So the Bears with their first down at the 30-yard line. Corey Smith in the ballgame in the tight end spot now for California. Single setback is Fields. And I believe Pipersburg left early. So the Bears again doing what they cannot afford to do. Another thing that I thought was interesting in talking to some of the California coaches about how Nebraska plays defense.
Prior to the snap, false start by the offense. 1st and 15.
He said that the cornerbacks in Nebraska don't even think run. They don't play run for a minute. They get right back after the wide receivers, and basically they play the run with 9 guys, and they're talented enough and quick enough that they can do that.
Yeah, they really do a great job of recruiting. They go out and get the best players, Ralph Brown and Erwin Sweeney on the other side, and they get guys who can run, and then they get a bunch of athletes that line up and play football interior.
So it'll be 1st and 15 for the Bears, and the Huskers show blitz didn't cover it. Short drop and a slant, and it is in and out of the hands of Pipersburg and almost picked. Right now, let's go to our College Football Saturday studio for an update with Kevin Frazier. The mighty hath fallen. Wow. That is a great win for NC State.
That's huge.
Michigan dumped again today as well. Vedder throws this time. Open is Douglas, and Douglas is dragged out of bounds about the 37-yard line. And that is the kind of play that if California is going to do any business, I think they're going to have to go to that well a number of times. Sweeney on the defense for the Huskers. Still short of first down.
Again, a quick drop by Vedder. Watch the outside. Sweeney right there. Douglas with just an out route. Great timing throw that time. Vedder to Douglas, and they get a nice chunk of yardage.
Gain of 12. It'll be 3rd down and 3 now. 2 tight ends, slot left, single setback Fields. And somebody jumped for the Bears again. And I believe it was the tight end Corey Smith. And of course, that's enough.
Prior to the snap, false start by the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
3rd time in this drive, and that will make Tom Homo gnash a couple of teeth. You can see what the Bears did. 104 penalty yards a game last year. Nobody had more in the Pac-10 conference. That's not a stat you want to have a lot of.
No, nothing bothers Homo more. That's just a lack of execution and guys making mental errors, and you just can't have that, especially if you're going to win in the Pac-10, and especially playing a non-conference opponent like Nebraska.
Double slot this time for the Bears. Now it's 3rd and 8. Vedder steps up, got time, throws, caught by Douglas. First down at the 48-yard line. Nice job by Vedder to step up. Nice job by Douglas to find that little seam. One thing that does strike me, Rams, Justin Vedder seems to be much more in control this year.
Yeah, watch Vedder. He'll come back, and then watch him dance around in the pocket. He ends up stepping up, doing a nice job, buying himself some extra time. And you just see how he spins the ball into Douglas, and Kari Reynolds, the nickel back, there to make the hit on Douglas.
Ball at the 49-yard line. Single setback again. Play fake. Vedder will throw. Rolls left. Trying to throw underneath. It's caught this time by the tight end Corey Smith. And that'll be another California first down in Nebraska territory inside the 40-yard line. Now again, to go back to the conversation we had with Doug Cosby, the Bears offensive coordinator yesterday, he didn't really feel that they could have a sustained drive. He felt they needed big plays.
You got to have big plays, but more importantly, you have to have production on first down. Right here, he moves the pocket a little bit for Vedder, and then Corey Smith coming across is followed and tackled by Joe Walker, their fast DB for Nebraska.
Corey Smith, redshirt freshman, split backs this time. Straight back Vedder again with time, thrown deep this time, and the man was held up. But there is no flag. It was intended for number 1, Bruce Pierre. And it looked like he was held up to me, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, he may have. Kari Reynolds that time, the sophomore for Nebraska, had a little bit of hold of the jersey, possibly. More importantly, he had great position.
Numbers on Justin Vedder so far. Ball at the 39-yard line, second and 10. The give this time is to White. White trying to bounce outside, still on his feet. And just terrific pursuit by the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Not a bad job by White to get something out of nothing, but the Cornhuskers just will not let you bounce to the outside.
Now you saw White, he had to shake about 4 or 5 tacklers. Awfully tough runner on that play. Joshua White coming out for a breather.
So it'll be 3rd down now and 7. Actually, let's call it 3rd and 8. See the numbers on this drive. Bears need more, though, to be in field goal range. Short drop this time. Vedder has it knocked down at the line of scrimmage. The man who got a hand on it was Steve Warren. And now it'll be 4th down, and the Bears in a dilemma. I would have to think they may go here.
You'd think when you're a passing offense, you want a mismatch. But I tell you what, right there, everything starts at the line of scrimmage. Warren doing a great job getting his hands up. That's just good fundamental football.
Bears will punt it from the 37-yard line and hope to pin the Cornhuskers deep in their own territory. Of course, the way the Cornhuskers moved the ball the first time, it doesn't much matter. Pooch. This will hit inside the 10 at about the 6, and Bears down at the 4-yard line. So they get the result that they want, and now the onus will fall on the California defense when we come back to Memorial Stadium. 7-0 ball game, 8:20 left, first quarter. Cornhuskers with the lead and the ball. 8:20 remaining first quarter. Nebraska marching down the field. Its first possession, 7 plays, 66 yards. We'll try it again for the second time from deep in their own territory at the 4-yard line. Crouch, still a quarterback. Buckhall with the eye back behind Makovica. Crouch to Makovica, and Makovica across the 5 to the 6. Got about 2. Let's go to the sidelines now. And Paul Sunderland. Sunday, what do you got?
Barry, you were talking about Nebraska quarterback Eric Crouch, and something to watch for. You notice he's been bothered by that hamstring that you and Tom Ramsey have talked about. Nebraska medical staff really working on him hard during that sustained Cal drive to keep that hamstring warm. Yes, it's about 85, 90 degrees down on the field, but his leg is very, very tender. Maybe he won't carry the ball early in this drive anyway until he gets warmed up. Barry?
2nd down and 8. Play fake. Crouch keeps it. Contrary to Paul, as he loses a yard on the play back to the 5-yard line. Took a pretty good shot that time.
Wasdorf that time able to come across. They don't get the hat on Crouch on the interior. Jacob Wasdorf able to shoot the gap and nail him for a loss.
It's a big play here for the Bears defense. 3rd down and 9. Now the strong suit of the Bears is their front 7. This is a talented unit that California has, although Nebraska went right through it in the first drive. 3rd down now. Crouch will throw for the first time. Pump fake, little hitch and go. And a flag is going to be called against the Bears, and it was clearly that. Derek Gardner interfering. Now you could make a case for an uncatchable ball here, though. I don't believe he could have caught that ball, unless it's a hold and not interference.
Well, he gave the receiver a shot in the chest, and I'm sure that's what the referee is going to call. He had good position the whole way.
Pass interference by the defense. The ball was ruled catchable. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
I'm not sure Will Chamberlain could have caught that ball.
Yeah, the ball's ruled catchable, but for who?
Yes.
I'm not sure. Maybe somebody standing on the sidelines. See if we can't catch the end of this. You see Gardner give him the shot in the chest, and the ball lands about 8 yards out of bounds.
Yeah,
but
so if he was 24 feet tall, he makes the catch. Well, that's a bad call right there, and it gives Nebraska terrific possession now as Crouch is dropped for a loss by John McLaughlin, and the Bears have made some defensive adjustments here, but are shooting themselves in the foot in the process.
John McLaughlin's a great player. He has to step up today for that Cal defense. He's a transfer. He actually went to the University of Notre Dame out of Hart High School in Southern California, and right there you see his quicks able to get across the line of scrimmage and put the hit on Crouch.
There's a look at John McLaughlin. Transfer. Crouch will go up on 2nd down. Throws. Caught this time on a slant by Davison, and Davison will be stopped short of the first down at about the 26-yard line. Still be about 4 yards, a long 4, short of the first down. Chidi Uoma doing the defending for California. Davison, of course, the guy who made that dramatic catch in the game against Missouri, a ball that went off the shoe tops of Chevin Wiggins, forced the game into overtime, and of course that allowed Nebraska to continue the season undefeated.
Davison see a lot more time today with Kenny Cheatham being slowed by a hamstring. We'll see a lot more number 3 today.
Third down, close to 5. Crouch looking to throw, does so. It is caught by Wiggins, and that will be a now. Are they going to say he's out of bounds? Well, they're going to say he made the catch, and it will be a first down for Nebraska, so the chains move. Right now, let's take it back to our College Football Saturday studios for an update with Kevin Frazier. Kevin.
Barry, let's step
back to football, and Crouch on the keeper gets about 3, and a big hit again by Albert Dorsey, who's made a couple of big hits in this ball game. You know, I've had, all along, Rams, I've had the feeling that Sosa's going to wind up hitting more home runs than McGuire.
You know, it's funny you said that. I think so, too. I mean, both of them, the ball's flying out of the park, and it was interesting. It was kind of fun to watch McGuire do it the other evening and on Fox.
It was spectacular. Could not have been scripted any better.
Boy.
And both these guys have really handled themselves as a class act. I mean, you couldn't have drawn it up any better than that. Second down and 6. With the pitch to Buckhalter, he's got room at the 40, 45, midfield and out of bounds. First down, Cornhuskers. Peter DiStefano runs him out.
Again, credit Crouch that time for bringing the ball to the perimeter and the corner, and he waits till the last possible moment. Again, a lead blocker out in front. They pull the guard as well. And again, Makovica, the fullback, great block out front. And then Buckhalter just able to get up the field, scooting with the pitch out. Good for another first down for Nebraska.
2 tight ends, 1 wide out. Makovica, the fullback, to the 45-yard line, gets about 3. Jerry DeLoach makes the stop for the Bears. Makovica, all of last year, did not have a carry for a loss. That's a pretty remarkable statistic.
Yeah, especially when you're carrying 105 times for 685 yards. Take a look at that big red machine. Just keeps rolling, rolling, and rolling. 7 out of the last 10 years.
And it is not nearly as simple an offense as it looks when you sit in row 65. It is a very complex offense, and any opposing coach will be quick to take it. A 3-step drop and a toss over the head that time of Matt Davison. Well, Fox Sports News Primetime's your source for college football news. 7-0 ball game here. 4:14 remaining first quarter. Nebraska looking at another third down. They've been successful on 2 third down plays in this drive. One of them with a gift penalty. Give it to fullback Makovica, and he is stopped. Dorsey again on the stop. Very good defensive set for California, and what should be a confidence builder for the Bears.
Cal again ganging up at the line of scrimmage. They got a bunch of guys at the line of scrimmage. Watch, they got 8 and 9 guys inside the box, and they're just going to try and stuff the run as well as they can. You see the safety come up late as well, and that's what you have to do. Force them to throw the football today. That's Cal's philosophy.
Well, that's what the coaches told us yesterday. They said if they can throw it and catch it, we'll lose by 50. We're going to stop the run. So on 4th and 5, wobbly kick by LaFleur, and it will hit at the 14. It's going to take a great bounce for Nebraska down at the 3-yard line. So Nebraska is stopped, but still manages to put the Bears deep in their own territory. California will have it at their own 3 when we come back to Memorial Stadium after this. We welcome you back. Barry Tompkins, Tom Ramsey, Paul Sunderland with Memorial Stadium in Berkeley. 3:28 left first quarter. And the Bears will start at their own 3-yard line. And Nebraska, you might have seen some of the players trying to rally the troops here. And I'll tell you what, there's plenty of troops in red. As a matter of fact, if you had to make a head count, I would say there's probably more Nebraska fans here than there are California fans. So a home game away from home for the good folks of Lincoln. And again, I believe the Bears jumped. And if it is, it'll be the 4th time that they have done it. So we'll wait for the official word. Bill Richardson, the referee in this ball game.
start prior to the snap by the offense. Half the distance, still first down.
Yeah, and the only good thing that comes out of this, they don't lose 5 yards. They can only go half the distance to the goal. So Cal again moving before the snap of the ball, and Carlos Pope coming through to put a hand on Justin Vedder.
So the Bears now back at the 1.5-yard line. And the crowd in that end zone dressed in red. Vedder to the fullback, and he wedges it out a little bit. White got it up to maybe the 2-yard line. Might have got close to the 3. Well, a reminder, next week on College Football Saturday, Chad Plummer and the... Looking forward to seeing Dre Bly.
Highly rated player.
Second down. Vedder throwing from his own end zone. Timing pattern caught by Douglas. First down at the 26. A great grab. Well defended by Ralph Brown.
They want to take some shots deep today, and the biggest thing, why not throw it coming out of your own end zone? One of the best times to throw a deep ball, just a quick little play action, but Damian Douglas, watch him go up, and he's able to jump over the top of Ralph Brown, and really, again, the placement of the ball by Justin Vedder. Just a nice throw here by the lefty. Douglas able to go up, and Doug Cosby said, hey, we'll take our chances. We'll keep throwing the ball to Douglas. He'll come down with the ball the majority of the time.
Douglas at 6'1" and Brown at 5'9", a 4-inch advantage. It feels going nowhere except into the waiting arms of Chad Kelsey.
Chad Kelsey, one of the strongest players on that Nebraska front, and they got a whole bunch of strong guys up there. A year ago, he's third team All Big Ten. Take a look at how good their run defense is as well, and they're not just good running the football, they're good at stuffing the run as well.
That'll be second down and 10. Bears go out of the I formation. Split backs behind Vedder. Vedder 5-step drop this time. The time throws for Fields out of the backfield, threw behind him. And it's probably a good thing he did, because right there was Julius Jackson. Jackson can scoot. Jackson at 6 foot, 235 pounds, and he gets there in a hurry.
Yeah, that ball was actually close to being a lateral.
Yes,
but Vedder, being a more experienced quarterback this year, not trying to force the ball in, knowing his receivers covered, throw the ball into the ground. All it is an incompletion. You don't hurt your team. You don't turn the ball over. And, of course, last week they didn't turn the ball over, and that helped them get a win out of that.
Third down now and 10. And Vedder in trouble. Down he goes. Flag down. He was creamed. First time that they have brought help.
Langston Walker, the big right tackle that time, jumping, moving before the snap of the ball, and he's only going about 6'8", 340 pounds.
Prior to the snap, false start by the offense. Still third.
That is number 5.
Now remember, it's Walker's first start. He didn't think he'd be playing this soon. He's only 18 years old. 6'8", 340. A mammoth of a young man, still growing, as Tom Homo said.
That's right. Came out of the same high school as Terry Glenn, who was a #1 draft choice out of California a couple years ago. Double slot, third down, 15. Vedder straight back, look out. Screen for White. He runs right smack into Chad Kelsey. Kelsey saying, look what I got. That's a great read by Chelsea.
I was going to say experience right there, Barry, on the part of Chad Kelsey, the senior. He actually gets cut. If you can watch this, I don't know if you can see it at the left part of your screen. He's actually down on the ground as Vedder is able to release the ball before Jackson's on top of it. He got off the ground and made that hit.
So Harris will punt to Walker. He hits this one pretty good. Turns it over, drives Walker back to the 32-yard line. Walker slips the first man, but not the second. He is cracked by Justin Flagg, who's been a very good special teams player for the Bears the last couple of years. 46-yard punt by Harris, no return. And there's a Cal Bear down. It looks like Mark Orr. And that looks like a knee. Well, Tom Homo can't be too displeased, other than the fact that his offense is prone to self-destruct here with 6 penalties, 5 of them for illegal motion. they're hanging around here.
And Tommy Holmoe's played in some big games. He's been coaching in some big games as well. He signed the first year on the staff of BYU. Lavelle Edwards. Miami came rolling into town in the season opener, and they upset him. And I think you could shock people sometimes when, you know, you're not that highly rated. They're coming off a season that wasn't real promising a year ago. But Tommy Holmoe will have his players ready to play.
Holmoe will come out and check on the injured player, Mark Orr, and that does appear to be a knee. Medical staff out there tending to him, and as we've said on numerous occasions, they will keep him down until they're absolutely certain what the problem may or may not be. Bears had a very good defensive set the last series, although there was a pass interference call on that one. 2 penalties have really hurt California.
And remember, Nebraska hasn't suffered a whole lot of losses over the last several years. In fact, about the last 25 years they haven't, since Osborne was running it. But Lyle Setensich, the defensive coordinator of Cal, was a defensive coordinator at Arizona State when Arizona State beat them 19-0 at home a couple years ago. And Setensich knows them pretty well. He's not trying to proclaim he's the genius, but given good players executing and with an offense that can score and make plays as well, you got a chance.
Of course, that said, Setensich was also the defensive coordinator the year before when Nebraska scored 77.
That's right.
Against Arizona State. Slot left on first down, the ball at the 35-yard line. Crouch all the way at quarterback, give to McAvika, and he stopped. So a gain of less than a yard on first down. Second down 10. Crouch to throw. Hit as he does and overthrows Chevon Wiggins, Chevon, I beg your pardon, Wiggins, the intended receiver. Nate Gelderman with a big push on Crouch.
Cal defense doing a nice job that time getting pressure on Crouch, and they're able to force Nebraska into the pass. Again, a long yardage situation facing Nebraska. 3rd and 8 this time. They have to substitute and bring in some players, and again, a definite passing down for Nebraska.
3 wide receivers, Davison, Hafke, and Wiggins in the ballgame now. As they bring Wiggins in the slot to the left side. Out of the shotgun. Crouch straight back. Has time. Throws underneath. Caught by Wiggins. First down, Cornhuskers. Caught it in front of Marquise Smith.
What's really interesting about the Nebraska offense, they have everything they need in the repertoire of offense. They don't go to the shotgun often, but 3rd and long, they do. Watch the receiver up top. Wiggins comes across. Just a nice little turn-in route, and Crouch delivers the ball on time, but they're able to get the personnel and actually the formation they want before the snap of the ball.
First down off another 3rd down play. Play fake. Crouch running for his life. Throws, and it's caught, but I think it's going to be out of bounds. No catch. John McLaughlin pushing the receiver, or coming after Crouch on a big chase, and unable to catch up with the ball was Sheldon Jackson, the tight end, who ran a pretty nice pattern actually, just couldn't catch up with that wide toss. Into the first period, Nebraska 7, California nothing. We're coming back to Memorial Stadium. Second quarter action after this. Isn't it? The Campanile here at the University of California at Berkeley, looking north across the base. 7-0 ball game. Nebraska leading California. Take a look at the Burger King game summary. Nebraska started out like it just wasn't going to stop. 7 plays, 67 yards. Only took a couple of minutes. California kind of self-destructing. 6 penalties, 5 of the motion penalties on offense. Total yards 116 for Nebraska and 86 for California. They've moved the ball between the 30 and the 30. They just haven't been able to get any business done in the red zone. Give this time first down and nothing doing, or rather on second down and nothing doing. As the Bears defense is toughened, that was Burt Buckhalter, the I-back, on the carry.
And remember, the reason Correll Buckhalter is playing, D'Angelo Evans, another one of the great I-backs, running backs of that Nebraska team, out. this season, and he actually was a redshirt last season as well with the same injury, a pelvis injury, but the year before that ran for over 776 yards and 14 TDs, and they had expected him to play quite often this year.
4 wide receivers on 3rd and long. Nebraska's converted 3rd down plays in this game to throw. This time caught by Wiggins, and he'll be stopped short of the 1st down at the 48-yard line. So Crouch gets the job done and does complete the pass, but it'll be well short of the 1st down. And the Huskers for the 2nd time will have to punt it.
And the Cal defense playing very inspired defense on their side of the ball. And it's interesting, when I was speaking to Lyle Sentences, your defensive coordinator, I thought time of possession was very important, but he pulled out his book and said, you know what, time of possession is not important against these guys, because back in '96 when they did beat them, they had the ball for 23 minutes and still ran 73 plays.
Truly remarkable. Punt by Brown. O'Neal gets out of the way. This one is going to sail into the end zone. So the Bears get a bit of a break. They'll start at the 20-yard line. Right now, we'll jump off the track, go to our College Football Saturday studio, and get an update. That game, for all intent, over before it was over. First half, huge for the UCLA Bruins. 35 points in the first half.
Matchup of Heisman hopefuls, and I just saw a little bit of them. But when you talk about left-handed quarterbacks, I know we have Vedder here, but Cade McNown really making a push nationally for recognition, and they got an awfully good team.
You like Hewitt a lot, too. We'll talk a little bit more about that. In motion comes Douglas. Bears starting at the 20. Give to Fields. And Fields got a little bit of a gap and got to about the 35-yard line. Bears will take that every time on 1st down. Right now, let's take it out of the field, and Paul Sunderland with an update. Sunday?
Well, not good news from the California Bears sideline with regard to defensive. Marco, who was taken off just moments ago. His knee is totally packed in ice. He's in a splint right now. Actually, his mother came down out of the Cal stands to console him, and Damian Douglas came over as well. We're waiting to get a final diagnosis from the medical staff, but he is certainly finished for today. Barry?
All right, thanks, Sunday. It does not look good for Marco Warfine, special teams player for the Bears. 5 yards on 1st down for Fields, biggest running play of the day for the Bears. Vedder, short drop, throw to the tight end, Kunkel, and he is kunkled. Loss on the play. Mike Brown coming up from a free safety spot, put a hit on him.
Boy, Mike Brown, who was a rover back a year ago, and then they moved him back to free safety, where he just comes and unloads on A.J. Kunkel. Watch Kunkel, he just receives the brunt of that blow, but Kunkel, he just wants to stand back up and then get polished off by another host of Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Frank Solich said that Brown is a living textbook on tackling. Vedder in trouble, gets away, still on his feet, gets back to the original line of scrimmage, but it's going to be 4th down. The Bears will have to give it up. Aaron Wills makes the play for the Huskers. Mike Rucker, incidentally, after starting the game, has not returned. Aaron Wills has gone most of the way at a defensive end spot. And that's a very important position. It's a spot they call the rush end. And Rucker's a guy who is a Lombardi candidate, All-American, preseason All-American. So Harris will kick it away to Walker. 46-yarder the last time. Huskers play run back all the way here. And this one, twisting kick that Walker will handle at the 30-yarder. Starts back and is dropped at the 35. Good coverage by the Bears, because he did not get a lot of hang time on that punt. Seiko Senyika makes the tackle. We got a timeout, 7-0 ball game, and we're coming back to Memorial Stadium in Berkeley after this. Welcome back, 7-0 ball game. Nebraska leads, 11:32 remaining here in the first half, and the Bears have made some very good defensive adjustments after Nebraska just went right through them for a 67-yard drive and a score in their first possession. Huskers with good field position, starting at the 36. Crouch all the way in quarterback. Again to Makovika into the open midfield. 45, 41-yard line, taking Delta O'Neal with it. Well, defending the option is not the easiest thing in the world, and we had an opportunity to sit down with that man, Tom Holmoe, yesterday and talk to him about it.
In the Pac-10, we don't see the wishbone, and we don't see option much. There's a few teams in the Pac-10 that'll have a series or two that are devoted a little bit to option, but we're not like some teams that see it kind of week in and week out, or even purely a running team. In the Pac-10, it's so much pass. So this does present a problem, and this isn't just an option team. This is the option team.
And that was Buckhalter on a straight dive, actually, and Buckhalter gets to about the 36-yard line, gain of 5. Good first down yardage once again. Here's what Nebraska has done as the Bears the last 2 times have managed to keep him out of the end zone, which is saying something against this team.
Yeah, and of course, Tommy Holm was saying there, it's not just any old option team, it's the option team. They come at you all different ways. They'll pull guards, they'll pull tackles, but the man at the controls is that guy right there, the quarterback, Eric Crouch.
And doing a very admirable job filling in for Bobby Newcomb. Crouch this time on a keeper with room, 35-30, 25 to the 20, behind a block at the 15 to 10 and out of bounds at the 8-yard line. Sean Applegate gave him a terrific block. And that's something that wideouts in this Nebraska offense need to do, and they do it well.
And think about this. Eric Crouch came into the game with a sore hamstring, a hamstring that actually was questionable, and Frank Solich it was a toss-up between Bobby Newcomb and Crouch. But watch him get on the corner right away. Great block out front by the fullback, and then he just hits the corner run, and great downfield blocks by the receivers. They don't stop. Chidi Iwoma finally there to make the hit and attack.
So the Huskers in business at the Bear 8. First and goal. Buckhalter at the 5 to the 3-yard line. And this possession, Nebraska giving the Bears a total different look than they had in the last couple.
And they're just being shot out of a cannon. Again, not taking a lot of time off the clock. Their tempo is something that concerned Cal coming into this game. The tempo at which Nebraska operates, not only in games, but in practice. I've been able to witness them in practice as well, and they probably get more snaps over the course of the entire year than any team in the country.
Second out and goal at the 3-yard line. Power eye this time as they line London up in the backfield. And this is Crouch trying to cut back. Touchdown Huskers. When they get it in gear, they make it look easy.
And the offensive line is so dominant at the point of attack, and Josh Heskew, the center, watch him just go out, lead out, get a nice block out in front. They just seal people off. They really work in, you see the big gap right there that Crouch is able to leap into, but they seal and they pound people up front.
So Brown with 87 consecutive points after touchdown, 88, high snap, got it down, and Brown gets it through. And that was an excellent job because that could have broken a long streak. 14-0 Huskers, 9:55 remaining, first half. Beautiful day, the Campanile pulling back across the California campus. 14-0 ball game, 9:55 remaining, first half. College Football Saturday on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by GTE, the official telecommunications consultant to the NCAA. So Brown will kick it off following the touchdown and the conversion. And Brown drives this one. And it'll be O'Neal about 2 yards deep. They'll try it. To the 10, to the 15. Still on his feet, trying to reverse his field. And he's got room now at the 15 to 20. At the 25 to 30. It'll be a foot race at the 40, 45. And dragged down to the 49-yard line. Ryan Shaw made what might have been a saving tackle. That shows you the pursuit of Nebraska, though, because that play looked for all the world like it was going 100 yards.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people piled up. You see right where the wedge, he got hit. He took a big shot as well, but credit O'Neal for staying on his feet and getting a sense of his direction back. And then he picks up a couple nice blocks, and he's able to pick what looked to be a short gain into a big 50-yard gain.
The Bears right at midfield. Single setback. Bring the tight end up on the wing and line another tight end up outside of him. And they give the ball to the fullback White. And White takes the circle route but gets good yardage. Got about 9 to the 42. Lauren Kaiser makes the stop for Nebraska.
Be able to utilize that fullback as much as possible. Joshua White, interesting story. He's actually blind in one eye. He fell on a toy when he was a little child, blind in his left eye, and he came the circle route to Cal. He had actually been at Snow College in Utah before transferring over to Cal.
Straight back Vedder, deep drop, looking deep, throws for Douglas. He's got a step. Douglas makes the catch, the 10-yard line. Big time catch by Douglas.
Sometimes you have to rely on momentum shifts, and obviously the kickoff return by O'Neal was was a big pick-me-up, but right here, the Vedder to Damian Douglas pass and catch. That's a big pick-me-up too right there, putting him down on the 10-yard line. Watch how good Douglas is. Once the ball is in the air, he just has Sweeney just out-positions him, and then he's able to go up and get the ball.
So the Bears in business for the first time, just short of the 10-yard line. Vedder straight back, looking for the swing, throws to White, and White's going to be dragged down for a loss. Jay Foreman, and the Bears really telegraphed that play. You can see that one coming a mile away.
Nebraska gives up a big play, but they come right back. And you see the play selection thus far of Cal. 9 runs for only 27 and 15 passes for 95. That'll tell you the direction they're going to keep heading in the entire day.
They send Douglas to the far side, and Pipersburg to the near side, split back, second down, and 15. They can make a first down without making a touchdown. The 1-yard line. Play fake, Vedder will throw, has to do it in a hurry. Now he steps up, and he's going to go down, another loss of 3. Back at the 18, so the Bears going backwards. Tony Ortiz turns him in. Next Saturday, it's college football on FX as the number 6 UCLA Bruins get on to Houston to take on the Cougars Saturday at 3:30 Eastern Time. And that's going to be a tall order for the Cougs. Cal Bears, of course, played the Houston Cougars here at Memorial Stadium last week and squeaked out a 14-10 win.
Bob Toledo's had a pretty good record against those Texas teams down in the state down there.
I'll say he has. Third down and a whole bunch now for the Bears. Straight back Vedder again. Late blitz comes. Vedder steps up, throws, and it's knocked down easily. Kunkel well covered by Tony Ortiz, who knocked the ball down. And now, interestingly enough, the Bears, whose kicking game is not the strongest, are faced with a considerably longer field goal than they would have been had they have kicked it right where they started this drive.
Doug Cosby, the offensive coordinator, coming out of the booth for the last several minutes of the first half here, coming down on the field and just trying to get his troops probably a little more organized in terms of execution.
Ignacio Brache will try what will be a 36-yard field goal. A little confusion going on here for the Bears. They got to hustle and get this play off. And they better hurry because it's going to be long. They got 2 seconds. They're not going to do it. Terrible clock management by California. And now it's going to be a 41-yard effort. Oh, they call a timeout. So the Bears doing the right thing after not doing the right thing, and it will remain a 36-yard field goal try for Brache. We'll jump off the track. We're coming back to Memorial Stadium. Nebraska leading California 14-0.
Report up.
Brache will try a 36-yard field goal. Bears were knocking at the door. Now they got knocked right back off the front porch. Brache hits it and missed it wide. And that's been a real problem for California. And that's a very demoralizing miss because the Bears had it at the 10-yard line, first and goal. Huskers knocked them backwards, and they missed the 36-yard field goal. Score remains 14-0.
Again, it boils down to execution. And Tommy Hummel, that's what he's talking about, trying to really push onto his team the philosophy of, hey, if you make some big plays and you gain some momentum, go ahead and finish it off. Put points on the board. And even had they got a field goal, I think it would have given a little boost that time.
Instead, they come up empty, and Nebraska starts the 20-yard line. Crouch all the way at quarterback for Nebraska. They'll put it up on first down. Throw it deep for Wiggins. Got it at midfield at the 45-yard line. Perfect pass, perfect catch. And a gain of 31.
See how quickly Nebraska can turn the tables. The safety comes out of the middle. Wiggins is able to turn Gardner around, and the ball is just well placed between the hash marks as well as a post can be thrown, and another big completion for Eric Crouch.
Slot right this time. Dan Alexander in at the I-back spot for the first time now. This is Alexander. Alexander straight ahead running over people. Got to the 40-yard line, and a late flag comes in from the back judge. Albert Dorsey makes the stop. We'll see what this is about. Nebraska has played virtually flawless football, and this time they're going to be called, however, for clip.
Yeah, maybe what is called a chop block. If someone is locked into somebody, if somebody's locked in.
Illegal crackback block committed by the offense, 15-yard penalty.
A little bit hard to see on that. And I'm not sure if they called it on the cut play. I think it was away from the ball a little bit. It's just hard to say. If a man is engaged with a defender, another blocker can't come in and block that person, and that may be the call on that.
So it'll be first down and 21 now as they go out of the shotgun. Perhaps strong arm. Rolls right this time to the run. He's wrapped up immediately. That looked like a run all the way. Jacob Wasdorf makes the stop. Well, Sunday at 10 a.m. on Fox Sports Net, it's Formula One racing. Can Hakkinen hold off Schumacher, or will the German be able to prevail as the circuit rolls into Monza? The Italian Grand Prix, Sunday at 10. Check your local listings. So it'll be second down at the 41-yard line. Out of the shotgun again. Crouch rolling to his left this time. Throws, and it is almost intercepted. Chidi Iwoma had it in his hands and had a lot of green in front of him.
Chidi Iwoma that time on Matt Davison, and Davison not coming back for the football. Crouch again moving the pocket for Nebraska, but Chidi Iwoma there to make the play. Watch as the ball comes out. Ball almost gets batted down, and then Iwoma, who breaks on the ball nicely right in front of Davison, but again Davison not coming back for the football.
For the Bears so far today, it's been one of those wouldas and couldas and shouldas game. That one had 6 points all over it. If Iwoma came away with it, down at the 10-yard line, came up empty. Conversely, Nebraska just playing Nebraska football, and we've talked about the system, and you can really see it at work here. I mean, this is not only a solid program, it's a solid football team, well coached, came in here with an idea what they want to do. They made some good adjustments, and this is just the whole package. Reminder that staying with us at halftime, we'll take you back to our College Football Saturday studios for the Marriott Halftime Report with Kevin Frazier and Kelvin Winslow. Line up highlights and analysis of all of college football today. Texas and UCLA jumping on Texas early. Sammy Sosa whacking one today. Puts him at the magic 60. And hasn't Mark McGuire been quiet since hitting 62?
Yeah, he has. Barry, you bring up a good point about continuity and experience in that Nebraska philosophical football program. Frank Solich, of course, in his 20th year, but his staff, he has over 125 years of coaching experience spread amongst the staff members, and of course, one of the people now on the offensive side, Turner Gill, of course, an ex-quarterback with a couple national championship teams. And Solich is able to just not even piecemeal it. He just inherits a program that has just been on top of college football. And what's interesting, I was talking to Tommy Homo about it. He had worked for Lavelle Edwards, played in the BYU system. And he said, you know, Tommy, goes, it just means so much when you have that continuity in terms of recruiting, in terms of when players get to the program, they know exactly what to do and when to do it.
Third down and $1 million here for Crouch as he goes out of the shotgun once again. Rolls to his left, they move the pocket, pump fake. Throwing deep, and the man was out of bounds, so it's not going to be any good no matter what happens. Yeah, I liked Johnny Rodgers, who, of course, won the Heisman Trophy as a wingback at Nebraska many years ago, talked about how important football was at Nebraska, and he said, winning in Nebraska isn't everything, but it's right up there with oxygen. So the Huskers will punt it back to the Bears as Deltha O'Neal stands back at the 15-yard line. He may have a chance this time. Bears with a 10-man front. And a line drive kick, so O'Neal might have a chance here. At the 18-yard line, to the 20, to the 25, to the 30. 35 and out of bounds to the 36-yard line. You can see that one coming.
Deltha O'Neal really a great return man, playing both ways as well. A little offense, a little defense, both sides of the ball. And Tommy Homo just trying to get the ball in his hands as many times as possible. A great all-purpose player for Cal.
A short line drive kick. And, as quick as Nebraska is, they could not get down under and cover that. So the Bears with pretty good field position again. Start at the 36-yard line. Split backs, slot right, 2 tight ends in the ball game for California. And Douglas in motion. They get it through Fields. Fields trying to get outside. It's tough to do. At the 40, the 45, out of bounds at about the 48-yard line, and he did get outside. Today's Academic All-American Profile is brought to you by GTE, and he is California senior guard Tate McAllister. Tate with a 3.34 GPA in a double major of rhetoric and political science. He wants to go on to law school, and it runs in the family. Good athletics and good academics, as his sister Megan's an All-American volleyball player. USC. This is Joshua White. White will get it across midfield with a 49-yard line. Got about 3, maybe 4 yards, depending on the spot.
They're asking a lot of that Cal offensive line, too. Tate McAllister, John Romero, Kevin Doherty, the 3 interior linemen up front, really pushing at the point of attack for Joshua White that time.
Well, Tom Homo and the California staff really feels that this game will be very much of a barometer for his California team of where they stand and what needs to be done. Out of the I formation, play fake, Vedder will throw. Vedder has to step up, and down he goes. Lost a couple of yards. That'll be considered a sack by Lauren Kaiser. Just tripped him up.
Vedder doing a nice job that time. Even though he takes a sack, really a coverage sack that time, and the timing just was not on Cal's side. It's really the first play action, maybe a 7-step drop they had, but that's why Doug Cosby was so adamant about, hey, let's stay with a 3- and 5-step drop and stay out of those 3rd and long yardage situations.
So it'll be 3rd down. We'll call it 9. Huskers show blitz. They don't cut. 5-man rush. Quick drop. Slant. Caught by Davenport. Davenport trying to get to the outside at the 30-yard line. The freshman from Woodside High School just down the road here on the peninsula. Mike Brown runs him down. Big first down for the Bears.
Ronnie Davenport, the true freshman, 6'2", 180 pounds. And it's interesting, he had the glasses on the sideline and watched Cosby as he told him, you're going to watch. He just runs a quick slant, and Vedder able to just take a quick 3-step drop, get him the ball right there in front of the linebacker. Turns it into a nice gain. True freshman wide receiver.
So the Bears the first down at the 30-yard line of the Huskers. Give it to Fields. Fields, nothing to do. First contact right at the line of scrimmage, and the first man to make contact, Aaron Wills. Huskers so quick off the ball defensively. And again, that's a hallmark of the team as you look at the rushing numbers. I'll tell you what, though, that bottom number is got to be satisfying, I would think, to Tom Homo. 41 yards rushing against Seattle. I mean against Nebraska. That's not huge numbers by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm sure Tommy will take it. Oliver long in the tailback spot. Play fake, Vedder to throw, does so, caught and dropped by Douglas. Thinking about where he was going before he thought about what he was taking with him.
I was going to say probably the most important thing to Homo is the sound of the chains moving along the sideline. Just the chain gang able to make first downs, and whether it's run or pass, but you have to have productivity running the ball.
Deep drop. Damian Douglas, D1. Great grab there. And on this next one, actually, he had his man beat, and Vedder actually underthrew the ball, and Douglas had to come back and make a pretty sensational catch. I'll try to show you that a little bit later. 3 wideouts for the Bears now. 3rd down. Short drop and a slant again, knocked down at the line of scrimmage that time. Can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up, and they got a pretty good push as it was. Might have been Wills who got a hand on it. Wills or maybe Foreman.
Aaron Wills bringing a lot of heat that time, and Vedder is not a real tall quarterback in the pocket, but really, as he talks to Troy Taylor, the quarterback coach for Cal, it's speed from center and separation from that line of scrimmage that will allow you a little more time to throw.
And again, because the Bears don't have a kicker with a leg, strong leg, I suppose I should qualify that, they will punt it. A little pooch that will get inside the 5, and this will go all the way to the 1 yard. I can't do it any better than that, but in the Nebraska's case, where they have a strong-legged kicker, that's 3 points.
A good game management by Tommy Homo, having Nick Harris come in, pooch the ball. It's not real pretty, but it's effective.
Resurgence thanks to Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa. Power eye this time. Crouch keeps it, just got about a yard. Well, Tommy Homo doing what he has to do without, as we said, a strong-legged kicker, and that is try to play a field position game, which is not easy to do against a team like Nebraska.
No, you don't want to get into a field position game with them, but when you have an ability to pin them down, make them go the distance. Pete DiStefano, the free safety, up at the line of scrimmage that time, making the play. And as we mentioned earlier, Barry, if they're going to beat you, make them beat you with the pass. Try to stuff the run. Try to gang 9 and 10 guys in the box if you can.
I'm calling a passer. Instead, they give it to the fullback. That's why I talk about this and not coach it. Got about 2. And the Bears are going to call their second timeout here, try to save a little of the clock. And the clock is not really a factor yet. 1:57 seconds left in the half.
No, but good theory. They're thinking that if they stop them now, they may get the ball back and still have one timeout as they go on offense, and Vedder possibly able to lead a 2-minute drill.
Once again, a reminder to stay with us at halftime. Kevin Frazier and Keller Winslow bring you all the highlights. I'll talk about the Texas UCLA wipeout. Sammy Sosa, in the midst of a big day and still playing, they'll tell you how he did after that first home run. Lots to talk about at halftime.
Tommy Homo down there right in the middle of his defense trying to spark him up. And, of course, Frank Solich over talking to his offensive people. And they need to get a little more productivity. Right now, Nebraska doesn't want to be. They've been in some third and long yardage situations. Not really what they wanted to do. Frank right there just wants a couple first downs. They're not going to be a great 2-minute offense team throwing the ball down the field. They're just hoping to get a first down here, and then maybe they spring another big run.
Well, they're 2 of 5 in third down situations today. And they're looking right now at a 3rd down and 8. Crouch all the way at quarterback. Buckhold to the I-back. And Crouch checking off here as the Bears try to fill the gaps. Crouch running with the football. Got a gap at the 10, at the 15, at 20. Great play. Eric Crouch with a big first down for the Huskers.
Cal lined up in a situation where they had too many people on the inside. What ends up happening, he sees all these people inside, and he checks off, and he's going to run the option and get around the corner. All he did, he checked it at the line of scrimmage. Again, they seal block. They get people on the ground. You see the Cal defender end up on the ground. You see Couch run right past him.
Gain of 18 and a first down at the 21. Crouch coming the other way this time. On the keeper again. Nothing doing this time. Stopped right about the line of scrimmage by Marquise Smith and company.
And remember, Crouch has the speed to hurt you, as we've seen. 2 big TDs last week against UAB. One, of course, was a 59-yarder against UAB, and he has the scoots. So far, 58 rushing yards, 68 passing.
And he doesn't scoot as quick as Bobby Newcomb. In fact, we talked yesterday to Frank Solich about the decision as to who would be the starting quarterback was made in the spring, and we asked Frank, was this a difficult decision? He said, no, absolutely not. Newcomb shone in the spring. Give the Buckholder, and Buckholder stopped on an excellent tackle just as he was getting started by Peter DiStefano.
And the interesting thing about Newcomb, and we'll see a lot more of Newcomb as the year progresses, and you'll see him back at the controls for Nebraska. He's such a great player, and the speed factor alone, one of the fastest players on the team.
Bears will call their final timeout here with 1:02 left, as once again Nebraska is looking at a 3rd and long. There's Bobby Newcomb, a freshman out of Albuquerque, and right out of the mold, they say, of Turner Gill and Tommy Frazier. A tremendous personality, very bright young man. Plays the violin, plays the piano. Somebody described him as his running style as Jello on springs. I call him a freshman. He's a sophomore, but he played the wingback position last year and still made a lot of noise.
Yeah, he was 4th in all-purpose yards a year ago with 589, and of course returning punts, receiving, rushing yardage. He averaged almost 25 yards a catch.
You know what I thought was interesting is the coaching staff at Nebraska said he actually has a stronger arm than Scott Frost. And I didn't think Scott Frost had an accurate arm, but I thought he really did have a strong arm. So that's really saying something. 3rd down and 7. And the I formation once again. And they give to the fullback, Macavika. Macavika will have a 1st down and more at the 40-yard line. And another big 3rd down play for the Huskers. Gain of 17 yards on 3rd and 7.
Just a quick fullback hitter up the front. You just saw the momentum of that offense take everybody out of the picture.
Crouch trying to throw as it knocked down by John McLaughlin at the line of scrimmage.
Boy, Nebraska gets the defense to pursue, and then a lot of the plays they call structurally are made to cut back against that pursuit grain, and that's where Nebraska has so many big plays on the run.
Well, Al Stetner said the Bears had to play consistent defense, and they've played well on 1st down and well on 2nd down, but not so well on 3rd down. It's cost them. There's a draw play with the quarterback Crouch getting across the 45 of the 47-yard line, and now it's going to be 3rd down and 3 as DeStefano makes the tackle for the Bears. So just when you think you've got Nebraska all figured out, they give you another wrinkle like that one.
Well, I was going to say Nebraska has to get the ball to the tight end. The tight end's not even in the game right now with 4 wides.
Crouch to throw on 3rd and 3, and the catch is made and driven out of bounds is Matt Davison, but not before he picks up another Nebraska 1st down. It was a tough catch. And another local product, Matt Davison, out of Tecumseh, Nebraska. Half the starters on this Nebraska team are from the Lincoln area. The shotgun again. Crouch rolls left. He has all day to throw, but he misses his intended receiver, who was Kenny Cheatham.
And one of the things Nebraska's been able to do over the years is have a great tradition of walk-on programs. They have a ton of walk-ons. They have a lot of local products, as you mentioned, Barry, but they just keep the funnel filled with a lot of players. Even in this day and age where scholarships are being reduced, there's more parity league across the nation, but they're still able to go out and get the marquee athletes, but yet recruit and get the players in the home state.
Carell Buckhalter came off with what looks to be a shoulder injury. We'll try and keep it posted. Alexander in now. Out of the shotgun once more is Crouch. Looking deep this time and throwing for Davidson. Well covered, and O'Neal makes the pick at the 4-yard line. Excellent coverage job by Delta O'Neal, who's been the hero of the day for California. John McLaughlin put a hit on Eric Crouch right as he unloaded the football.
Crouch he hung on to the ball as long as he possibly could. McLaughlin there to drive him, but Delta O'Neal, as you said, Barry, making the plays for Cal Berkeley, whether he's returning the ball, rushing the football, or making a great play on the defensive side.
So the Bears dodge a Nebraska bullet with 6 seconds remaining in the half, and will be, I would have to think, content to go in 14-0. And I'm sure that Vedder will just take a knee here, not take any chances at all. And that is exactly what happened. So Vedder takes a knee. The first half comes to an end. Nebraska Cornhuskers played extremely well, but I think you have to say the Bears defense played better than we might have expected.
Yeah, hats off to the Cal defense. It pays to have a little experience on that side of the football as well.
Remember that first drive, 7 plays, 67 yards. Looked like the route was on. But after that, the Bears dug in. They did give it up on a couple of big 3rd down plays. Remember the pitch to Buckhalter on that first drive? That set up the first score. It looked like it was going to be all downhill for California, but a lot of credit to Tom Homo and his staff. Tom Homo right now is with Paul Sunderland. Paul?
Well, Barry, Coach, you stopped him some, you moved it some, but you don't have any points on the board. What do you think about telling your guys at the half?
Well, we have to get 15 points to win the game. We're 14 down right now. Defense is playing okay, but they gave up 2 long drives. Offense has to take advantage of some of those scoring opportunities.
All right, sounds simple. Best of luck to you in the second half, and thanks very much for your time. Tom Homo, got to be pleased the California Golden Golden Bears holding for the most part Nebraska. They trail, however, 14-0 at the half. Now let's send it to Los Angeles. Kevin Frazier with our Marriott halftime report.
Nothing ball game as we prepare to start the second half. Barry Tompkins, Tom Ramsey, and Paul Sunderland. And Rams, I have to think that both coaches are going to be displeased as they look ahead of the second half. Tommy Homo thinking his team should be closer. Frank Solich thinking his team should be farther ahead.
Frank Solich wants to get that Nebraska offense untracked a little bit, but on the other side of the ball, Cal defense is really playing well. They've stopped Nebraska when they've had to. In terms of game management, they've kept Nebraska pinned down on their own end a couple times.
Nebraska will get the ball first to start the second half. Let's take a look at some of the numbers after the first 30 minutes of play, and numbers a lot more comparable than you might have expected.
Yeah, they really are. Obviously, the rushing yards for Cal, they got to pick that up to some degree. Total yards 154. We'll keep a track on the total number of plays because this is where Nebraska excels at getting plays run. Thus far, 44 for today.
And the Bears will kick it off to Nebraska. First time they have kicked off in this ball game. Timmy Wallach will kick it off for the Bears. He did very well in kicking the ball off against Houston last week. He put one in the end zone and one down on the 1-yard line. And then, of course, very important factor in the game of college football, and any game of football for that matter. Wiggins and Walker are the two deep men. They don't show much respect as they stand at about the 6-yard line. And we're underway in the second half. And this one is kicked away from Wiggins at the 1-yard line. They'll give it 5 to 10. The 15-20, look out. 25-30, still on his feet to the 33-yard line. Wiggins had a chance. Right now, let's go to the sideline. Paul Sunderland. Sunday, what's up?
Well, Barry had a chance to talk to Nebraska head coach Frank Solich as he came out of the locker room, and certainly no panic. But they said, look, the key is we got to start finishing off some of these drives. For as many yards as we have in total rushing and passing, very disappointed they were only able to put 14 points on the board. At the defensive end, they're going to take more chances. They must force some turnovers, get a lead here. Barry?
Crouch all the way at quarterback, give to Makovica, the fullback, and he gets across the 35 to the 37-yard line. Take a look at the possessions in the first half for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. They made it look awfully easy in that first drive. It only took 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Then they had to punt it away, but still managed to keep the ball for 14 plays during those two drives. Scored again on a 5-play, 64-yard drive, and then the punt, and of course the interception by Deltha O'Neal with just 6 seconds remaining to end the first half. Second down, 6 now for the Huskers. Crouch on the keep this time at the 40. At the 43, will be close to a first down. Keith Miller, shoestring tackle for the Bears. Talk about the fact that Nebraska is banged up coming into this ball game. The Bears also hurting a little bit. Matt Beck, who normally is the starting middle backer for California, not playing today. Here are the numbers on the two quarterbacks. Crouch put it up 14 times, a lot more than you might normally expect the Nebraska team to throw the football. Completed 6 for 74 yards, Vedder 10 of 19 for 121 yards, but unable to make that big play, and that was the hope, of course, of the Bears coaching staff. Nonetheless, played under control. And the measurement, and it is a first down for the Huskers. The sun's starting to get a little bit low here at Strawberry Canyon. Long shadows across the playing field.
I would have expected a few more passing yards and attempts by Justin Vedder since early on the opening game for Nebraska when they played Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech, of course, throwing the ball all over the field, and Tim Rattay, their quarterback down there, throwing for 590 yards in the game.
It should be pointed out, though, that it was 42-7 Nebraska at the end of the first half. Crouch will throw, looking deep. Got a man out there, the tight end Jackson, but he overthrows him, and pretty well covered by Derek Gardner. I mentioned earlier that Nebraska is throwing to the tight end a lot more than they have, and it's with good reason. They have an excellent tight end in Sheldon Jackson. Jackson has an interesting ritual that he goes through. He sits up in the highest row of the stadium hours before the game and just meditates, kind of concentrates on what needs to be done. They go out of the I formation this time. Crouch on the pitch and well defended that time. Buckhalter was the ball carrier, stopped for a loss of about 4 yards. Sekou Senyika made the tackle, and it was Jeremiah Parker who was right in the face of Crouch to force the pitch.
Yeah, credit number 95. Jeremiah Parker comes from his defensive end position, able to get upfield and really pressure Crouch. Crouch just able to pitch the ball to Buckhalter. Then he swarmed over.
Here's a look at Sekou Sanika with the 2 interceptions in the opener for the Bears against Houston last week. I mentioned earlier, he said it was the first 2 passes he's intercepted since Pop Warner football. Buckhalter, incidentally, left the game near the end of the first half with what we thought was a shoulder injury. He had burst a Bursa sack earlier in the week and just kind of dinged that up, but he appears to be okay. That Bursa sack injury is nothing to sneeze at.
Third after a 5-yard penalty.
Huskers will go backwards. I remember when Joe Montana had that injury and it hampered him all year.
Yeah, it's something that flares up in elbows and knee joints, and it really can set you back, especially with all the games they play on AstroTurf.
So now it'll be 3rd down 19. Huskers made big 3rd down plays in the first half. They've been Wiggins in motion. Crouch is going to be dropped way back at the 20-yard line. Bears really got after him that time. Jerry DeLoach led a Bears charge. An excellent first defensive set for the Cal Bears.
And Barry, you mentioned early on, Jerry DeLoach had to come up big if the Cal defense was going to find its stride today. And sure enough, he got past his blocker, able to shed his blocker, then get to Crouch long before he can look downfield to throw the ball.
That's the 4th sack by the Bears in this ball. There's a line drive kick. O'Neal might have a chance here again. Drives it back to the 30-yard line. He starts back. He's got room at the 35. Great block at the 40-yard line. Out of bounds to 42. The man who gave him the block was Keith Miller. And again, good return yardage for the Bears. Will have excellent field position to start the second half offensively. Huskers 14, Bears nothing. Just underway 3rd quarter. We're coming back. Start at the 42-yard line following a good punt return by Deltha O'Neal and a great block by that man, Keith Miller. Listen to what it sounded like. Watch Miller 53. You know, they talk about pancakes at Nebraska. That's a block that takes a man off his feet and plants him. That was a pancake, folks. Give to Fields this time a counter. Fields the 45 to the 49-yard line.
Take a look at the first half possessions for Cal, and of course, far too many punts. That doesn't work, but when you get down inside the 10-yard line, you come away with a missed field goal, not what you want to have happen. Of course, Cal right now really needing to put some points on the board.
Have essentially a free play here with 2nd down at about 1.5 yards, and the give to Fields, and he slips and falls. He lost about 2 yards in the process. So much for the free play, huh?
Yeah, we talked at halftime just about game management thus far for Cal in terms of momentum shifts and in terms of really where they're starting their drives. Take a look at their rushing offense, but also just in terms of starting positions. Nebraska several times has been pinned down low. This time Cal with a grand opportunity starting at midfield.
Fields seemed to slip on the painted area of the field there that spells out Cal in script. 3rd down, short drop, Vedder on a slant, misses his intended receiver, Joel Young. Young turned in, and I think Vedder might have expected him to turn out. So the Bears 3 and out.
And if I was Cal on my next series of downs, I would be looking towards number 81, Damian Douglas.
Yeah, first of all, Nebraska's playing all man, and Damian Douglas has a real size advantage on either of the Nebraska corners. So Harris to punt. Wiggins the deep man. Harris seems to me to take a long time to get the kickoff. Short kick, bounces backward. That's well played by California as he is knocked down by Justin Flagg right at about the 20-yard line. It's going to come back to the 20-yard line. That is not going to sit at the 2-yard line. Touched by Flagg.
The ball was first touched by the kicking team at the spot of the beanbag here, 1st down.
At the spot of the beanbag. You don't hear that very often.
Now sometimes those referees are throwing their hats, throwing the beanbags, and throwing the flags.
Throwing everything. That's right. So the Huskers back in business at the 20-yard line. Slot left. And again, this time is to Buckholder. He's dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Bears playing inspired defense here in the second half. Next week on Baseball Thursday, the American League West title up for grabs. It'll be the Angels and the Rangers head-to-head in the season's most important series. Or the Red Sox. They're cruising toward a wild card, but the O's aren't going away without a fight. They've been a great team since the All-Star break. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Second out and 10 now. Bears playing inspired defense here. Huskers not able to do any offensive business here in the second half. This time it's Crouch to throw over the middle. Jackson's wide open and he can't catch up to it. There's one that Eric Crouch would love to have back. That was going to be a big, big gainer.
Yeah, you can't miss that big target. Sheldon Jackson racing down the middle of the field, and Crouch again forced into the passing situation. Watch a little play action. They move the pocket and they have exactly what they want, but the ball just gets away from him. Marquise Smith running behind Jackson, but Jackson running a good route and was wide open.
Bears caught a big break there. Jackson might have been gone. He can scoot after he catches the football. Prototype tight end, 6'4", 245. Crouch now 6 of 17, 74 yards. Crouch this time will keep and runs into his own man. Stopped at the 20-yard line. Another excellent defensive set for the Bears. Carter and Gelderman make the stop. Sounds like a law firm, doesn't it?
Well, I tell you what, if you're Cal right now, too, you're inspired because you know you go in 14-0 at halftime, but the defense is playing great, inspired football, and they come out again in the second half here and shut Nebraska down early.
So Bill LaFleur, the punter, coming on to kick it to Delta O'Neal. Low snap this time. LaFleur digs it out. Senika almost got a piece of it. Here's O'Neal, and he doesn't have much help this time. O'Neal gets it back about the 33-yard line, and that'll be it. And Senika, incidentally, limping off the field after that near block. We'll take a timeout. 9:06 remaining third quarter. Huskers 14, Bears nothing. We'll be back. Let's go Oakland Bay Bridge on a beautiful day here in the Bay Area. That's Yerba Buena Island, with Treasure Island off to the left of that. It's at the World's Fair so many years ago. High formation for the Bears at the 33-yard line. They give the tailback Fields. Fields gets a couple to the 35. Let's go to the sideline and Paul Sunderland. Sunday.
Well, Barry, we were talking about after the end of the first half, certainly no panic on the Nebraska sidelines. I wouldn't call it panic, but I would certainly call it, I can't call it what they've been calling it. This is a very upset football team right now with their execution offensively and defensively. And Joel Makovecka, certainly an inspirational leader here and a walk-on for Nebraska, going up and down all of the Cornhuskers and really getting after them to play a little bit better.
Thank you, Paul Makovecka on 3 national championship teams. His brother was on 2. Here's Douglas wide open in midfield, trying to cut it back on his feet. 45-40 at the 35-30 at the 25-yard line. Big play for the Bears, and we were talking about that.
I keep coming back to number 81. Damian Douglas is going to make plays for you if you're Cal Berkeley, and Justin Vedder again. A quick 5-step drop. He gets the ball out. Nice out route against Ralph Brown, and he's able to shake Brown, and then watch him knife between the 2 defenders right here. He almost breaks free again, but just a good throw and catch, and that's where Damian Douglas is so good. Out in the open field, run after catch.
32-yard gain for the Bears at the 25-yard line of Nebraska. Bears, though, have come up empty in the red zone. Vedder checking off, thinking the blitz is coming. It's not. Short drop, batted in the air. Great job by Chad Kelsey. Kelsey's having a nice game despite the fact all week long he's been plagued with a virus. Little brother is a backup at the same position, Chris Kelsey.
Watch it as he'll get his arms up right there, and sure enough, Kelsey able to bat the ball down. And boy, tip balls are so dangerous. That's you just want to stay away from those.
Second out 10 at the 25-yard line. Deep drop, Vedder in trouble, wrapped up back at the 31. Every time the Bears get within striking range, they go backward. And once again, you can't emphasize enough the inability of the California kicking game. I mean, they're basically out of field goal range right now.
Exactly. They get down into the plus 30, into the red zone, and all of a sudden Nebraska steps it up, and they really bring in the heat on the passer, but they're only doing it with 4 guys. Cal just unable to protect Vedder that time, and Kelsey again, along with Kaiser. Take a look at Chad Kelsey, 2-time Big 12 academic first team All-American. That's impressive.
Third down a whole bunch for the Bears now. Straight back, Vedder again, throws clear out, this time for White, the fullback. He'll get it to the 20-yard line. And once again, Ignacio Brache will be called upon to try to get the Bears off the schneid here.
And that's a nice game. They contemplated for a moment whether they're going to go for it on 4th down. Troy Taylor, along with Tommy Homo down there, discussing it. But I think points are very important right now, especially as the defense is playing well. They've stepped up to the challenge, and I think after a nice game like that, you're better off, better suited to put some points on the board.
It's going to be Tim Wallach who's going to do the kicking, and not Ignacio Brache. So Tommy Homo just not having the confidence. Wallach gets this one up. He's got it up on it. If the direction is good, and it is. Well, maybe the Bears have found themselves a kicker. Wallach puts it through, and the Bears are on the board. And he had a little to spare. We'll jump away right now, take it back to our College Football Saturday studio for an update with Kevin Frazier. Ken? Could be a good season for Arizona. I like the Wildcats. I think that's a very good football team. They were a very good football team at the end of last year, as you remember. Barry Tompkins, Tom Ramsey, Paul Sunderland. We're at Memorial Stadium in Berkeley. Isn't this what college football is all about? Sellout crowd, beautiful day, and a great facility.
Sellout crowd. Nebraska brought a ton of red boosters with them today. As you can see, all the red in Memorial Stadium. And I tell you, it helps when you play on the road and you're a team that has such as great a success as Nebraska has nationally. It's nice when you can show up and have a lot of fans there. Monte Cristo, the quarterback, warming up on the sideline. Expect to see him here in shortly.
And they're not going to drop off a whole lot with Monte Cristo either. He has been flawless in his cameo appearances. He was in the game last week against UAB. Was nearly 4 of 4, including a 63-yard touchdown. Wallach hits this one about 2 yards deep, and coming out with his walker, 10 to 15, and that's going to be it. Bears are jacked up right at the moment. But it's hardcore football on Fox Sports Net. Ronnie Lott, Bill Moss, Rod Pitt. Monte Cristo is now the quarterback. That's another former walk-on. They give it to fullback Makovica. Nothing doing. Well, if the Bears are guessing, they're guessing right.
Yeah, they sure are. And productivity on 1st down, important for both teams, and each team struggling on 1st down. But this time the Cal defense, again, their defensive line playing awfully well. Deloach, Carter, and Gelderman there to make the stop.
Cristo this time will throw, does so, caught by Davidson. And Davidson will have a 1st down just across the 31-yard line. Makovica comes away limping just a little bit. Monte Cristo, as we said, a walk-on. Had numerous injuries, and that's hurt him just in terms of progressing in the system. He's had a thumb injury, a disc, he's had a vertebrae injury. In fact, he's torn the ligaments on both thumbs. You can tell why he wants to go to med school. This time, Cristo on the keeper, and they can do it again. Bears defending that very well. Albert Dorsey, who's had a big game, I think, for California.
And the Cal defense, Lyle Setton, the defensive coordinator, said if they were effective, they were going to have to make some calls at the line of scrimmage. The free safety, Pete DiStefano, one of the players making the calls. There's Setton up in the box. And also Albert Dorsey, number 44, the inside linebacker. And really, they're making their calls based on what the splits of Nebraska have. Their offensive line, the gaps in between the offensive line.
They're still out of the shotgun this time. Throws over the middle, and that time well defended by Marquis Smith, and flags fall. I don't know about that one. Be anxious to get another look at this.
Well, the reason they throw the flag, Marquise Smith, you're going to see him right there. He's able to come in, and he really comes through the back of Jackson.
Both flags for the same foul. Defensive pass interference.
See Christo, he might have hung on to the
automatic
ball.
First down at the spot of the foul.
Maybe a little early.
Just a little early, and really it happened because Christo hung on to the ball just for an additional split second. It just allowed Marquise Smith to close on Jackson and make that play.
Christo, as we said, whenever he's been asked, he has responded. He was 4-4 in his last game. He played in one of the last scrimmages that the Cornhuskers had. He was 4-5 in that one. He didn't miss a lot of passes. Slot right this time, 3 wideouts. Christo on the keeper, turns it upfield, gets across the 40 to the 42-yard line. A gain of 5, and I think they might have called. No, they're going to say the ground cause that they will give progress to the 42-yard line. Wasdorf makes the stop for the Bears. Bobby Newcomb, who will be the quarterback of this team. He is the starter. Bothered with an injury suffered last week against UA, or rather the first week against Louisiana Tech. Did not play last week. Those are his numbers in his debut, and you don't get much better than that. This time, Makovica is stacked up for a loss on the play. Keith Miller with help from his friends. Mawuko Tubinyo.
And that's where they missed Newcomb today. They miss his throwing ability, because in that first game, 9 of 10, and he was able to get the ball to Shelton Jackson, their tight end, and spread it around to Wiggins as well. And they missed that. They've had some open receivers. They just haven't been able to get the ball to him.
Makovica, incidentally, still limping around a little bit. Here comes a blitz for the Bears. Christo rolling, hit as he throws, wide open Davison. Midfield, first down. Garrett Gardner on a stop. Bears gambled, and we're going to get...
Christo got banged up on the play. He took a big shot that time by Albert Dorsey. Awfully slow getting up.
Appears to be okay, though.
Watch it up at the top, 2 wide outside. Davison just runs a little delayed drag out there, and he's sitting out there all by himself, and he's able to turn upfield for the first down. Take a look at the pressure. Albert Dorsey coming from behind, and once Christo gets rid of the ball, he's just driven into the turf by Dorsey.
Ball just short of midfield. And again, this time to Makovica, and they stop him again. Remember, Makovica came into this game not having lost any yardage on any play in a year. He has lost yardage on a couple of plays, one on this drive. But he also, it has to be pointed out, he's been limping a little bit. Might not be quite 100%. I want to mention one other thing about Makovica. We talked about the fact that he's got 3 championship rings. His brother, who played fullback here, started as a walk-on, has 2 championship rings. And it doesn't end there. His sister, Jenny, has a championship ring from Division II softball. She played at Nebraska Kearney. Christo on the keep. And Monte Cristo is toasted. You got to go to cheap humor every now and then.
Well, yes.
I'm sure he's never heard that before.
Again, option into the short side of the field. That Nebraska offensive line locking up man for man. Marquise Smith there to make the initial hit, and then he just swarmed over by Dorsey and friends.
So a third down situation again. Huskers have been pretty good at third down plays.
Take a look at the rushing yards. Only 18 in the second half. That's a Cal defense stepping it up.
Yeah, that's unheard of, as a matter of fact, for the good folks in Nebraska. Willie Miller will come into the ballgame for Nebraska. First time we've seen him, sophomore fullback, who will come on replacing Makovica. This is just an official timeout, a momentary timeout. We're going to stay here. And now we're set to go. So Willie Miller, the fullback. Buckholder, the I-back. Christo to throw, batted down. Somebody got a hand on that at the line of scrimmage. It is the Huskers who come up empty, and they'll have to punt it to the Bears.
And I'll tell you what's hard on that play. They threw the ball out there to Davison, and it looks like the sun is starting to, there's some long shadows being cast on the field down there, and they threw the ball right in his direction. That may have contributed to the ball going incomplete.
Bears want a little crowd support. Bears only have 10 guys on the field. Should be interesting. A wobbly kick that O'Neal will get away from. It goes out of bounds. California, not real organized here. They only had 10 players on the field for that punt. It turned out okay. The ball's going to be spotted somewhere around the 26-yard line when the Bears have it. When we come back, 14-3, Huskers. Tom Ramsey, Paul Sunderland. The Bears will start at the 27-yard line, and this crowd here at Memorial Stadium, and a sellout crowd it is, has had a wake-up call. And it's been the Bears defense that has given it to him. White gets the call on first down, and White is wrong. Carlos Polk cracked him. Loss of 2.
Carlos Polk coming in from his Mike linebacker position, just stuffing the run that time. Hey, the Nebraska defense has played pretty gosh darn good also. They've had good productivity from their defensive line. Both Kelsey and, of course, Carlos Polk.
2nd and 12 now for the Bears. Vedder to pass. Throws over the middle, wide open, tight end Kunkel, 40-45. Midfield at the 40-yard line of Nebraska, the 35, and dragged down at the 30-yard line of the Cornhuskers.
He's going to come up and then just give a little shake and come back over the middle. Brian Shaw is able to elude his man. A nice throw and catch that time. Vedder just puts a nice touch on the ball, and of course Brian Shaw in the chase position, a gain of 44 for Cal.
Kunkel, remember, used to be a running back, and a very good one. Started at the Air Force Academy. Vedder straight back, in trouble, steps up, throws across the field for Douglas. Diving attempt, can't quite come up with it. Job by Vedder.
Boy, just a great job of Vedder that time, staying alive in the pocket. And then what was really heady of him, he puts enough air under the ball right here. You see how high the ball is, but it allows Damian Douglas to be able to get an eye on the ball and then try to race underneath it. It's a little hook and go, but there's enough air under the ball where, yeah, if he comes down with that, he's making a great effort there to get there and almost comes down with it.
Give it on 2nd down to White, nothing doing, got a yard. And again, the Bears looking at a 3rd and long. Steve Warren right there on the stop for Nebraska.
And again, we've seen it, Cal stalling right at the plus 30-yard line each and every time they've been down there today. Just unable to break the play to really the 20-yard line. Remember last time on 3rd down, they just threw a little delay to White underneath who got up the field. I think this time you have to go outside to your outer receivers.
Well, that brings Pipersburg to the near side and Douglas to the far side. Vedder straight back, has to hurry, down he goes, now they're out of field goal range. Eric Johnson with the big play defensively for Nebraska.
That's where Nebraska can hurt you. Vedder hits his 5th step. Watch him. It's not as though he's hanging on to the ball. He hits his 5th step and comes up, and Johnson's right in his face and there to take him down for the sack.
Just went right over the top of Joshua White. And now the Bears may get a procedure call, but this one is not going to be a bad one. We're going to come to the end of the 3rd quarter with that. 14-3 ball game. Nebraska over California. Bears are inches away, but football is a game of inches. Period, and the Bears will punt it away. California, after having a near touchdown just go off the fingertips or near the fingertips of Damian Douglas, then went backward, and now Harris will come on to punt it. Wiggins stands at the 10-yard line. Pooch kick. It will hit at about the 15, takes a sideways hop, and the Bears will have to knock it down at about the 8-yard line. But, Tom, it's one of those games that I'm sure if you ask Frank Solich right now, he's going to say, we're dodging bullets. And if you ask Tom Homo, he's going to say, we had so many chances.
They've had a lot of chances, especially plus 30-yard line. Cal has got to put some points on the board. They just misfire with when they get down towards the red zone, but they're playing the smart game and game management. Tommy Homo pooch punting again and putting Nebraska down into their end zone.
Asking an awful lot, however, of the defense of California to try to get the job done. They mark this one at the 12-yard line. Makovic back in the ball game at the fullback spot for Nebraska. Christo still the quarterback. This is Makovic, or rather Buckholder, and check that, Christo, and he gets to about the 19-yard line.
And Christo again able to run the option to the near side, electing to keep that time. Nebraska once again having to start near their own end zone. Nick Harris doing a good job again on the punt, able to pin them down, make them go the distance. That's what the Cal defense is saying right now. Make them go the distance, throw the ball to beat us.
Christo this time on the keep, turns it upfield, 20-25 to the 30 to the 34, still on his feet. Excellent run by Monty Christo, first down Huskers.
Again, Monty Christo not giving up. Watch again. They seal block that interior. They finally get a crease to run through, and Christo does a nice job putting his hand on the ground, just picking up some extra yards.
So a first down on the gain of 18 by Monty Christo. Christo play fake, rolls left this time, looking to throw, looks for the tight end Jackson. He's open, makes the catch at the 35-yard line. First down Huskers. Jackson has been open. That's the first time they've been able to find him.
And the ball is not a great throwing ball to Sheldon Jackson, but they're able to move the pocket enough and then set it up. They have both tight ends actually pretty open, and Monty Christo able to throw it down the field. Marquise Smith just out of position that time on Jackson.
Tracy Wistrom, you're right. The other tight end was also ball at the 34-yard line of the Bears as Nebraska now getting the offense in gear. Christo this time on a keep again at the 30 and tripped as he crosses the 30, fighting for yardage inside the 30 to the 28. Showing some toughs here. And Nate Gelderman will hop off the field, having a leg injury of some sort. It may just be a cramp. We'll find out.
I think that's a lift Frank Solich was looking for, the head coach in Nebraska, looking to just get a little more firepower in that Nebraska offense. Monty Christo coming in, and of course Eric Crouch, I really believe he's having some more problems with his hamstring. I've seen him stretching him out down on the sidelines, but a good move going to Christo just to ignite that offense.
And he has done just that. Give this time to Buckholder, the tailback, and he gets inside the 25 to the 23. That's going to be another Nebraska first down, I believe. Let's go down to the sideline and Paul Sunderland. Paul?
Well, Barry, I'm down behind the California goal post, but the story from the Nebraska sidelines is Tim Crouch's hamstring is causing him some problems. Again, the count, if you will, of Monty Christo in there doing a pretty good job, but they do not want to go back to Crouch unless they absolutely have to. You know, Bobby Newcomb already dinged up. Back to you.
And Christo doing the job. First down at the 23-yard line. This is Christo on a keep. He's cracked by Senyika.
Siku Senyika coming off the edge that time and just laying the hammer to Monty Christo. Again, they're trying to run that little quarterback option. And you watch Senyika appear in your picture, and then he's just going to drive him into the turf. Nice play that time by Senyika. Ground level. Ouch.
Bears linebackers have been very impressive today. Senyika, Miller, Dorsey. Remember playing without their starter, Matt Beck. Three wideouts now. Here comes everybody. And Christo trying to do what he can. Gets it ahead to the 25-yard line, but didn't get anything back. Jacob Wasdorf on the tackle. Bears reacted very well as they were bringing the house that time.
Again, look at the averages alone over here in this box. 3.4 to 5.8 for the first half. Only 58 total yards. Again, it doesn't take long. If you spring one long run, that average goes up quite a bit.
Third down and 12. Big play the slot this time, out of the shotgun, and Cristo keeps it, run all the way, and he doesn't get anything. Got maybe a yard, and now we're going to see Brown, the kicker, who has been nothing short of sensational.
Really spreading everybody out the likes of a quarterback draw, although it's really a trap play that they run. Albert Dorsey not being fooled. Stays right at home in his middle linebacker position and makes the hit.
So it will bring about the presence of Chris Brown, and this guy is really something special. 17 field goals in a row. Hasn't missed one since September 20th of last year. Perfect from over 50 yards. Nails this one and missed it. Well, I did it to him, didn't I? First miss in a year. 1 week short of a year, and he misses from 40 yards, and the Bears continue to just hang around here. And I'm sure that doesn't set well with Frank Solich and his staff. Just wide, 14-3. The 23-yard line. They trail by 11. 11:03 remaining to be played. Split backs behind Vedder. Vedder will go up on first down. Throws it out for Douglas, and he can't hang on. And that's the way it's been for California. That was going to be another huge play, and it slipped through his finger.
Well, the all Big Ten corner out there, Ralph Brown, gambles. And if he makes a play, he's in for 6 points. He dives in front. Watch, it's a great ISO this time. Brown versus Douglas. He cuts in front. If he makes the play, he's going to 6. But if Douglas can hang on, that's going to be a huge game for the Cal Bears.
Instead, it's 2nd down and 10. Nobody makes the play. Comes a blitz over the middle. Clear out for White. 25-30. Head down to the 33. It'll be about a yard short. Let's take a look right now at our Burger King game summary, and it has been a far more entertaining game, I think, than most of the people in the stadium thought it would be. First half, Nebraska dominant, although California picked up 156 yards. But in the third quarter, Nebraska empty with only 38 yards. Cristo now playing quarterback for Crouch, who re-injured a hammy, and they're going to be very careful with that. And Bobby Newcomb, who is the starting quarterback, has not played at all. Now, the word that we had was he would be available in an emergency, but we have not seen him yet. I don't know if Frank Solich considers this an emergency. Fields will not get the first down. The Bears will have to give it up. Lauren Kaiser and Chad Kelsey, and you just can't run against Nebraska.
No, and as long as Chad Kelsey's there making the plays, Solich will not consider it an emergency. But I'll tell you right there, the defensive ends again closing down and just stifling that Cal running game.
Now the Bears are at the very least pretending that they're going to go for it. This is a gutsy call. 4th down, less than a yard. See if they're just going to try to draw them off and then bring the punting team on. I don't know. I think that is what they're going to do.
Exactly what they're trying to do. Just draw the team off sides and then.
Well, they did get a little movement on the Nebraska line, but no forward movement. That's the bottom line, and so. They're going to get a delayed game call, however, and so it's going to put the punter Harris back a little bit further. So we'll see if Williams gets a chance.
And Nebraska putting in their return team again. They're probably going to come away with pretty good field position here.
Sure. Turns this one over pretty good. Williams back at the 25-yard line. So it's back out room 30, 35 to the 40 and stopped as he crossed the 40-yard line. But as you said, Rams, excellent field position for the Cornhuskers. That was Joe Walker on the return. 14-3 Huskers, 9:08 remaining. to the 42-yard line. Nebraska throws over the middle and unable to hang on was the tight end Jackson, who's having a tough day. Dorsey maybe got a hand on it.
And Marquise Smith, the strong safety there, very close to Sheldon Jackson that time. Again, take a look. Again, punt. Missed field goal, the first miss. I think you did hex it possibly, Barry. Chris Brown, who had hit 17 in a row over the course of the last year and unable to come away with points.
Double slot now. Chris still out of the shotgun once again. 3rd down and 8 to throw a screen for Buckholder. Great play by Sanyika. What a read by Sekou Sanyika. And you can't say enough about the California linebackers. They have been brilliant. But Dorsey is down and injured.
Sanyika's hobbling off as well, but Sanyika does a great job of sniffing out the play, and then you see Dorsey gets his ankle rolled up about 5 yards away from the play. That could be devastating. Both those guys hobbling off with the games they've had. Albert Dorsey, the Mike inside linebacker for the Bears. Take a look at him right here. He's going to run this way. Keep an eye on number 44. Gets his ankle rolled up right there as Sanyika's making the hit on Buckhalter, and he comes away limping as well.
And they will tend to him and do so carefully. Meanwhile, on the sideline, that's Sanyika who made that stop. That looks like a cramp, though. They get ice on the calf. This injury here appears to be of a little bit more serious nature, but let's see as they get him to his feet. We'll be back. And the Cornhuskers not too comfortable as they continue to nurse an 11-point lead. They will have to punt it back to California. Bears come after this one and don't get it, and that's going to be roughing the kicker. Now we'll see if it's running into the kicker or roughing the kicker, and that will be a decision that the officials will have to make, and the Bears best hope it's running into the kicker. Damian Marzette was the man who did it, and now it's in the hands of the striped shirts. And if it is roughing the kicker, it will be a first down for Nebraska. If it is running into the kicker, it will not be. And it's against Nebraska and against California. It's going to be offsetting penalties. That's the first hold I can remember, maybe in this game.
Against the offense, personal foul, roughing the kicker by the defense. The penalties will offset. Repeat the down.
That's a break for the Bears.
And both head coaches asking questions, how can that happen? But I read Homel's lips. He said that's got to be offsetting penalties. Sure enough, that's what happened. Yeah, when the call came from the line judge, that was the first flag that came out. And then, of course, the ref, Bill Richardson there, LaFleur kicked the ball to drop it for roughing. So they offset each other. Down goes over.
And we'll see how the Bears play it this time. This time they play run back, and they almost got that one, but instead LaFleur hit it pretty good. O'Neal at the 14-yard line, to the 20, to the 25, tripped up as he crossed the 25, stopped at the 29-yard line on an excellent tackle by Travis Toline. Well, we want to remind you that week 2, another Cal Bear is down. Bears get banged up here. That is what Nebraska does to you, is they just wear you out. You get tired. When you get tired, that's when you get hurt. That, too, has the look of a cramp. And it is Deltha O'Neal. Seen a lot of cramping early in the season.
Yeah, the temperatures down on the field before the game it was awfully hot down there. And, of course, O'Neal's had a workout playing on defense, offense, and special teams today.
I thought it was interesting. Last week, you were down in Tempe, and I was up in Pullman, and it was hotter in Pullman than it was in Tempe.
Yeah, the day before in Tempe, the game, it was awfully hot, and then it really kind of cooled off into the evening. Just as it is now, it's cooling off here at the stadium.
This, of course, the warmest time of the year in the San Francisco Bay Area, September, October. So the Bears, who now have to start to consider the clock as a factor, trail by 11. They'll have the ball just short of the 30-yard line. Late blitz comes. Vedder airs it out deep, and Douglas can't hang on. It was Pipersburg, not Douglas.
Boy, I tell you, what a great play. Actually, I think it was Douglas.
You're right.
That was fighting for the ball, but they're going against Ralph Brown again, and he makes a great play.
This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the University of California and the Pac-10 Conference. It's intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. It may not be rebroadcast in any form without the express written consent of the University of California and the Pac-10 Conference. Second down 10 at the 29. This time they come off the corner. Vedder in trouble. And can't get away. Drop back at the 24-yard line. Eric Johnson coming off the corner. And Vedder had no choice but really just to run into Johnson. And now Johnson comes off with what appears to be a cramp.
Yeah, Johnson did blitz. He moved over to the outside end, just created a little more of a problem in terms of number scheme for those linemen of the Cal Berkeley Bears, and all of a sudden they're swarmed over. Again, Vedder just doing a good thing. It looked like Johnson's cramping. They can't get enough water down on the sideline.
Third down and 14 for California. Slot left this time. Again, the Huskers showing blitz. And Vedder's in trouble again. Now he rolls away, buys some time, tries to get them shoulder square, and throws wide of Damian Douglas back at midfield. That was going to be a tough chance because he had to roll the opposite way. And Vedder shaken up a little bit too, but he appears to be all right. 3 and out for the Bears. Huskers will get it back.
Boy, Nebraska coming with an unrelentless pursuit. Jackson, number 50, just goes over the top and misses Vedder. But when Vedder arose, all of a sudden he sees number 57, Chad Kelsey, right in the sonar.
So Harris punts it away, wobbly kick, and this is going to be Wiggins at the 30, and he's hit immediately by Joe Walker, rather, at the 30-yard line, and hit immediately by McLaughlin. Or was it Chidi Woman? 41-yard punt, no return. And the Huskers will have it at the 30-yard line.
Boys, the game winds down. Again, not a lot of offense again for the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Next week it'll be Cincinnati and Army. That gets us underway in our quadruple dip. That's at noon Eastern. Then the Texas Aggies and Southern Miss. We'll be at Stanford for North Carolina, and it goes on from there. Arizona and Iowa. Pass is caught this time by Chevin Wiggins at midfield and a first down. So a gain of 20 on the first snap for Nebraska. Now the clock really becoming a factor. 6:43 remaining. Power eye this time. And the option pitch to Buckhalter. And Buckhalter gets it going in the right direction. Gets it down inside the 40-yard line. It'll be another Nebraska first down, I believe, depending on the spot. Might be a little short. Applegate with another good block on Sekou Senyika.
Boy, another player down, Marquise Smith, number 9, the strong safety, holding his leg.
That again looks like a cramp. And another Bear down, Chidi Uoma. I mean, this is going to be like a war zone here. And those are both cramps. It's also going to force the Bears into using a timeout.
And they're not real deep in that defensive backfield. They have both those guys down. They're really, again, a big concern for Tommy Holmoe.
Those things hurt.
Yeah, they really do. And Nebraska's just starting to get on track. Christo running the option to perfection that time. And I was so impressed with Buckhalter, who was able to weave through the defense for a big gain and really make it a second and short. for Nebraska when they get the ball back.
Yeah, they haven't really run that pitch too much. It's either been a keeper or, in the case of the triple option, the first back, Makovica.
Cal's doing a good job in terms of assignment football. They're trying to take the dive, and then they assign a man to the pitch man, and they're stringing the play out to the sideline. Right there, when you lose a strong safety and a corner, it's awfully tough because now you got to bring in two guys who haven't been playing a lot during the game.
It is short of the first down. It'll be second down inches, right at the 40-yard line of the Bears. And again, they go to the power I. Willie Miller in at fullback now. Alexander is the I back with the first down, and Moore inside the 35-yard line to the 34. He got a lot on his own. Alexander is a load at 6 foot, 250 pounds. As he said, I'm not going to juke anybody.
No.
He didn't.
No, he's one of the strongest men in the Nebraska program as well. You see the sophomore out of Missouri. He was the 1997 lifter of the year for the Cornhuskers.
Here he is again. And right now, Nebraska's just trying to pound a bit. Got a couple.
Alexander's going 250, and he's still able to run a 4.53 40. So when he gets ahead of steam, look out. I mean, he's a player that can come and give a nice change of pace, but the change of pace is straight ahead running in an awfully quick fashion.
Wiggins in motion this time on second down, and Cristo rolling right, throwing for Wiggins, and they're going to say it hit the ground first. Incomplete pass. The rushing department, as you might expect, Nebraska with 257 yards, and the Bears with only 28. That's just 33 yards net rushing for California in 2 games.
I think Nebraska's a little surprised today. I really believe they probably thought, jumping out ahead early on 14-0, that they might be in a bit of a track meet, but really hats off to Cal for playing tough defense and controlling some of the game just in terms of field position.
3 wideouts now for Nebraska on third down and 8. In motion comes Davison. Quick throw to Davison. Davison's got room. 30, 25, 20. First down at the 15. And out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. So again, the Huskers making big third down plays. That may be the biggest difference in this game.
Davison comes across in motion, and watch him as what ends up happening. They throw the ball out, and then he's able to get 2 blocks down the field. One here and another one here. Both receivers turned into downfield blockers, but just a little swing pass out to Davison.
Davison won a 6th true freshman to play last year for Nebraska. As we said earlier, he made the biggest catch of the year. Power I once again at the 12-yard line. Cristo to throw, threw off balance, and that one was up for grabs, and now we're getting flags everywhere. And this may go against the Bears.
And I'm not sure this is a proper call, because when the ball's deflected up in the air, it's really anyone's ball, and it looked as though they may call interference on the play.
But the back judge coming into the conversation now, and he may be saying exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, it may be overruled. Once the ball is up in the air, a bit of an errant throw. Albert Dorsey back in the game, applying the pressure that time on Cristo.
Both flags. Defensive pass interference. First down at the spot of the foul.
That's a bad call.
Well, check it out as Cristo rolls out. Watch number 44 shoot the gap, and he's able to just put the pressure, and he ends up deflecting the ball. When the ball is deflected, they're going to call face guarding on DeStefano, on Makovica, but the ball's a free ball. Arm is hit, ball is in the air, tipped. That's a bad call.
There's a pitch this time to Alexander, and Alexander sheds one tackler, can't shed another. Dorsey was the guy who had a hand on him and couldn't quite hang on.
Andre Carter, again, playing well for that defensive line. They've really had great production out of the defensive line for Cal, but right now the offensive line in Nebraska is the one that they're making their presence felt, just continuing to drive at the line of scrimmage and creating plays for the Cornhuskers.
again. Christo will keep at the 5. That's it. Wrapped up, knocked back by Albert Dorsey. Dorsey and Senyika have had brilliant games for California.
Yeah, Dorsey, the junior, 6'2", 235. Of course, Senyika is a junior also. They don't lose a lot of people. They're a pretty young team when you look at their roster from top to bottom. Dorsey playing awfully well. And then they have a young freshman as well, Jamal Cherry, who we haven't seen, but you'll hear a lot about.
Wiggins in motion out of the backfield this time. Christo will throw, in trouble. Throws to the end zone. Touchdown to Shevin Wiggins. And Christo coming back off his primary receiver, picking up Wiggins, running right along the goal line. And the Huskers have added to their lead. They lead it 20-3 with the extra point coming.
Great patience this time by Christo. Little play action in the line, freezes the defense, and then Wiggins just dragging along, right along the end zone line, and is able to find him.
Brown the try for point following the touchdown pass from Christo to Wiggins, and the Huskers are on the board again for the first time in the second half, but they stretch the lead to 18 now. It is Nebraska 21, the Cal Bears 3. 3 minutes 54 seconds remaining to be played in the ball game. There's the man who scored the touchdown, Shevin Wiggins. I believe the primary receiver on that play was Jackson, but a good job by Christo. Frank Solich has talked about Christo as being a coach on the field, and I think he showed you why right here. Looking to Jackson, now he's coming back. There's Wiggins running right along the goal line.
Boy, great job with a lot of people in his face, and that's just knowing where your outlets are. You see Wiggins, he started at the other side of the formation, and both he and Jackson drag across. There's good separation between them, so it gives Christo a good perspective on where to go with the ball, and he just makes a nice throw.
And remember, he is the third-string quarterback here. You never know it, would you? And there is a look at Monty Christo, who came on in relief of Eric Crouch, who re-injured a hamstring. The starting quarterback, Bobby Newcomb, has been on the bench the entire game. And they expect he will be back next week. You saw Christo again with that high percentage, 6-7. He was 4 of 4 last week. Mentioned earlier, he was 4 of 5 in the final scrimmage of the preseason. Had a very good spring game. He was a leading passer. The spring game, incidentally, in Nebraska is no small deal. They draw 60,000 people for that game. Line drive kick. O'Neal with a big hop to the 10. Tries to cut it out at the 20 to the 23-yard line. Well, reminder that Fox Sports News Primetime is your source for college football news. Who's going to make a run at the Heisman? What teams are moving up in the rankings? Which contenders remain undefeated? We've got college football covered like nobody else. Fox Sports News Primetime tonight after the game for most of you. So the Bears now looking up from 18 back with 3:45 remaining, and that's a tall order to be sure. For Frank Solich, it appears he will ring up his third victory as the head man of Nebraska. His first road trip, which I'm sure he'll be very happy to get behind. Vedder to throw, picked off, threw it right to him that time. Never took his eyes off the intended receiver, and that one was read perfectly by Mike Brown. So after not making a mistake all afternoon, Vedder makes a big one there.
Yeah, you never know how your team is going to perform on the road, but when you have veteran players like Mike Brown that know the positions they need to be in at the proper time, he just steps in front, right in the throwing lane that time. Vedder trying to get the ball to Douglas. And that's just a little bit of a press right there. That's throwing into coverage, but Brown just sniffing it out and making the play.
I'm never looking off the receiver was Vedder, and I think that's why Brown can make the move to the ball. Give this time to Alexander, gets the 28-yard line. Jeremiah Parker on the tackle. Huskers happy with good reason. They have put some distance between themselves and the stubborn Bears. Cal defense defense has done everything asked of it. And while I don't believe Frank Solich is going to be thrilled, he's going to take this victory considering his team is A, playing on the road with a lot of young players, and B, banged up coming in here. Probably more. Charlie McBride, defensive coordinator, told us he's never seen this team so banged up. He's been around a long time. Christo trying to get something out of a broken play and is knocked back for a loss by Albert Dorsey again.
Yeah, so true. They are banged up and they're missing some marquee players. You got to remember, too, their offensive line, they lost 4 offensive linemen, and Josh Heskew, the center, was really the only returning lineman. He started all 13 games. Take a look at the road wins, though, that they've just compiled and built up. That just goes with a lot of other wins they've had over the last several years. 62-3 over the last 5 years plus. Of course, that's an NCAA record.
Christo's going to throw this time. And has Wiggins open at the 20-yard line. It'll be about a yard short of the first down. I think we've been talking about Nebraska's offense here in the second half. The bottom line is their defense has just been brilliant.
Yeah, they really have, limiting Cal to 4 possessions in the quarter for a -6 yards overall. And Cal had some good opportunities. They had the score close, and they just couldn't get the ball really inside the plus 20-yard line at all. They just went backwards from every point forward.
Had a number of opportunities. They had a pass that Douglas had in his hands that twice, as a matter of fact, one that he had in his hands, one that was just over his outstretched fingertips, and another near interception by Chidi Olma. But those, as we said earlier, are the wouldas and couldas and shouldas. And I don't believe he's going to get this, and California once again will dig down and find something defensively.
Sanyika there to make the hit on Dan Alexander, the big tailback, and the Cal defense once again playing inspired football even with 2:12 left in the game.
Yeah, this could be a real coming-of-age game for California's defense.
Well, as you said, Barry, they're going to use it as a barometer, and there's no better gauge than one of the best teams in college football year after year. And I think you size up, but I also, you know who you're playing against. You know all the ramifications as you head into the Pac-10 schedule.
Vedder has that one batted in the air at the line of scrimmage and almost picked. Chad Kelsey was the guy that almost made the pick. Kelsey's had a very nice game, too. And remember, he's not playing at 100%. He, too, has been bothered with the virus. The rush end, Mike Rucker, has a chronic problem. And that flares up sometimes it doesn't. But he did not start the game. This one's batted in the air and intercepted. Picked off this time by Polk, and Polk gets it back to the 15-yard line. And all of a sudden the wheels have come off the California offense.
Again, a tip ball. And Polk just did a good job picking it out of the air, and then nice little spin move, staying up and racing the ball inside the 20-yard line. Watch Polk from his Mike linebacker position. Again, the hands up by the defensive line, tipping the ball. Great fundamental football, and Polk's able to take the ball up the field. There's a couple late blocks there, push him out of bounds.
So the Huskers at the 15-yard line. Christo on the keep, gets something out of nothing, down about the 12. For Justin Vedder in the second half, it has been a tough day. Just 2 of 10 for 76 yards and 2 picks in his last 3 passes. Kind of left a little bit early, but Christo tucks it away, tripped up as he crossed the 10-yard line. The executive producers of Fox Sports Net are Arthur Smith and Bill Morrison, who also probably would have called that motion penalty. I think they had 2 guys moving. Coordinating producer for College Football Saturday is Gary Garcia. Today's game produced by Jerry Romano and directed by Doug Freeman. The directors of remote operations are Debbie Kilmartin and Joe Washington. limping off the field is Willie Miller, and Makovica was nicked up a little bit earlier too. He appears to be okay, but he hasn't been back in the lineup for a while.
Illegal shift against the offense. 2 men were moving at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
I said that, Bill.
They were just trying to get a jump start on that play.
Miller does appear to be okay. He's on his feet on the sidelines, just stretching. Second down and 13. Cristo will go out of the shotgun. And this looked like run all the way, and there again to make a play was Andre Carter. Bears have very high hopes for this sophomore, son of Reuben Carter, now coach at Maryland.
Andre Carter, a great specimen, of course, playing as a true freshman last year, who really only has a 3 or 4% body fat. They're hoping he gets a little bit bigger, and he ends up swapping time a little bit with Jeremiah Parker. Of course, Parker goes 300 pounds.
3rd and 18 now. Cristo throwing to Davison out of the backfield, and Davison's going to be knocked out of bounds at the 20-yard line, and that will bring about the presence once again of Chris Brown. Brown having missed for the first time since the 20th of September last year, missing a 40-yarder just wide. He had plenty on it. The Bears probably will go home thinking maybe they might have been able to do some business.
Number 1.
A timeout called. We're going to take a timeout. 21-3 ball game. Nebraska over Cal with just 23 seconds remaining to be played. 2 ticks remaining in this one as the Nebraska Cornhuskers will get out of Dodge with a victory. Chris Brown missed his only try today. He will have another chance right now to try to tuck this one safely away. Not that it isn't already. A crowd booing because they feel Nebraska doesn't need it, but I think this is fitting and proper to do this. 36-yard effort, and now a flag falls. That just means Chris Brown.
Prior to the snap, false start by the offense.
I think players are getting tired out there. There's been a lot of those kind of shabby mistakes being made in the last 5 or 10 minutes. So Brown will now try what amounts to a 41-yard field goal. And he nails this one, and nailed it with plenty left. 41 yards, and the Huskers lead it by 21. I don't disagree with that. Kicking that field goal despite the boos of the crowd here. We'll jump away one more time with 19 seconds left, and the Cornhuskers on top by 21. Hills of Marin County across the bay from Berkeley. Campanile here at the University of California. Really a beautiful sight. You can see it all from the stadium here. Really spectacular. So Chris Brown will kick it away, and no joy on the California sideline to come close as the Bears did, and yet come up empty. Bears defense playing very, very good football. It's going to be Douglas. The 10, the 20, that's it.
I definitely think both teams have a lot to be proud of. Cal for playing as well as they did, not really getting the production offensively they wanted in the second half. And for Nebraska, of course, coming in with a lot of injured players. First road game for Frank Solich. Hey, the win is a win. You come away with a win, and that's the bottom line. And, you know, there's an awful lot of W's in that Nebraska media guide, and they have W's for a reason. The philosophy and the teamwork that they exhibit on the road and at home makes them obviously a national powerhouse. And Cal Berkeley in its second year under Tom Homo is learning how to win games, but it takes a while.
Well, of course, they expect a lot of this Nebraska team. Expectations every year are for a national championship, and I'm sure there will be people who look at this game and say, oh boy, we didn't get it done. We should have blown these guys out. Yeah, look at the numbers, 435 yards of offense, and in the second half they've limited California's offense to -7 rushing. And now they sack Vedder back at the 9-yard line, so they're going to finish it with a flourish. As this game winds down, that was Samuel Clemens at quarterback, and what a baptism for him. For Tom Holmoe, he said that this game was going to be a barometer for his team, and I think in retrospect, certainly right now he's not too happy, but in retrospect, he's going to see a lot of things that he likes, and I think Frank Solich might also. Frank, as we said, I can't thank him enough for being very amenable and giving us an awful lot of information that makes our job very easy. Tremendous program that Bill Burney, athletic director, and the coaching staff in Nebraska has put together a wonderful system. So that's it from here in Berkeley, California. The final score once more, Nebraska 24, California 3. We remind you to tune in next week for more college football action, a quadruple header. Cincinnati Bearcats and Army, Texas A&M, and Southern Mississippi. UNI Rams will be down in Palo Alto for North Carolina and Stanford, and then the nightcap Iowa and the Arizona Wildcats. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. It's a wrap for us. For Tom Ramsey, Paul Sunderland, I'm Barry Tompkins. College Football Saturday has been a presentation of Fox Sports Net. Fox Sports News is next for most of you.